We kicked Vecna's ass last year.
He wants to move the Abyss, crash it into Hawkins.
No, not crash. Merge.
How long do you think this takes?
We better hope we have some time. Because if this is all correct, we have to get 2,000 feet in the air, find our way into the Abyss, free Holly and the kids, and kill Vecna all before our worlds merge.
And if my theory's right, he's gonna move worlds tonight.
You heard it up top. We are sitting around the Dungeons and Dragons table once more as we head back to the 80s and what we thought was the Upside Down as we talk the finale of one of our favorite shows. That's right, it's Stranger Things Season 5, Part 2, and the series finale here on Normies Like Us. Your hosts, Sheriff Colin, and I'm tired, boys. I'm just tired.
I guess Mike Wheeler, and I'm just telling stories.
And this is Stranger Jacob, aka Jake Levin.
Jake Levin. And currently we got it strike teams. Me and Jacob are in the Upside Down, and we have Colin at the radio station guiding us, where
That's
the
right.
van needs to go. So we're running at this finale the same way they did on the show. Yeah.
That's right.
Or are we in the Abyss? Who knows? But yes, we're back
I was
for
gonna
Volume
say.
2 in the finale.
I might end up in the Abyss at the end of this thing. And Mike, we're talking Stranger Things. We're talking the 80s. We're talking Dungeons and Dragons. No one looks like they are more in the basement in the 80s than you right now, my friend.
Thanks,
That's
sir.
right.
For all of our listeners, yes, I got my 80s Dungeons and Dragons game. I got my big D20, and I have, for people who've known, the first D20 I ever had for my very first D&D Advanced Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. So yeah, I'm here
Wow.
to talk the game inspired by the game, or the show inspired by the game. But
That's
Wow.
right.
I'm here for
It's
it.
all about the storytelling in
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons and in
That's
Stranger
right.
Things, wouldn't you say?
That's right.
That's right.
And who's
So
our
I
great
would-
storyteller? Mike Wheeler.
Mike the Wise.
Mike the Wise. Yeah. Yeah, so Volume 2 in the finale, we got our sorcerer last time. We play D&D in real life, so obviously that's why I busted out a lot of this stuff. But so when the show
right.
first came out, we were like on board because like, oh yeah, pun intended, we were on board. Tabletop at least.
Hey.
How do we feel? Summarize, I guess, the first block episodes that we already did an episode on. Go back and listen, listeners.
That's right.
Yeah.
What were
Yeah, we
those
talked
first
episode 1 through
reactions?
4. I would think I was more down on it. Colin was more up on it, and
I was
Mike was somewhere in the
Cautiously
middle. Maybe.
optimistic. Yeah, we get the big finale where Will does become the sorcerer. He breaks a bunch of Demogorgon bones. It's kind of badass. Like he gets
Right.
his big moment with the military fight. The big finale there. And I thought, yeah, it's all right. We'll see where they go. And now I guess we'll talk about where they went.
Yeah, we have episodes 5 through 8, 5 through 7 released on Christmas Day, and then
Mhm.
8,
That's right.
the finale released on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And so it's been a little bit since those episodes came out. Obviously, we had sort of a backlog with Avatar last week. And for me, it took me a while to finish those episodes as well. But I did finish them last week. And actually, after the finale, I went right back to the beginning and started a rewatch of season 1. I was in the
Okay.
mood. I was like, you know what? Let me throw on season 1, see how it holds up. And
Let me see them
let me tell you,
stranger
it's still good.
babies.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the Muppet Babies. It's like a time loop.
Those kids used to be so cute, and then they turned into
Oh.
awkward young adults.
Hey, Dad, do you like my receding hairline? I'm 16 years old.
You got
Right.
my allowance, Dad. Yeah.
Um,
I'd like to see your thoughts on kind of how the earlier season contrasts, at the end of this, maybe how it was going
Yeah.
back. What about you? So, Colin, did you watch these when they came out, like Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then around New Year's?
Well, like Jacob said, I was pretty hot on those last couple episodes. I had family over. They dropped on Christmas, and I was like, are we doing this? And everyone was like, no. So I did not win that argument to watch them immediately. I saved until the next stack came out. I wasn't going to go edge myself.
Mm-hmm.
I made plans to go to the theater because
yeah.
obviously they were doing that thing to do the finale on New Year's Day. I was going to go January 1st because they were doing it New Year's Eve and then January 1st. But instead, no, I just stayed home. And by that point, everybody was gone. And I had some time to myself and literally just marathoned it on New Year's.
Gotcha. I did watch the Christmas block like a day after Christmas because I was staying with my family. I was back in Ohio, and none of them kept up with the show past season one. Like my mom and
Mm.
dad didn't really watch it, so I just waited till they went to bed and got through. Maybe I had 2 days to do that, and then I watched the finale like the day of New Year's, like in that evening. So it's been a little
And
while.
then,
Yeah.
and so, but both of you guys waited for the ninth episode, or when did you guys tune in for that one?
Yeah, I
I was
waited. So I did
sort
Christmas,
oh
then I waited. But you, Jacob, you did something else.
the ninth
But
episode. Yeah, I'm still
the
waiting.
Oh
secret ninth
shoot! Yeah,
episode. Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
you guys haven't watched it yet?
No, I totally
I bet
forgot.
you're
Yeah,
talking the
Secret
whole
good
thing
ending.
on here, guys. You didn't watch the ninth episode?
the real
No, I wanted to be
finale.
surprised.
Yeah, the left side right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a whole thing too. The- what was it
yeah,
called?
we'll talk about it. Continuity gate or whatever. I don't know what that means.
Complacency
but-
gate?
Yeah, continuity. No, continuity gate. It is called continuity gate.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but I was very into
I thought I saw it was-
observing the movement.
I saw something online. I don't know if this is like the basis for it or if this is just some random person on the internet, but they're like, if you look in this screenshot of Mike's basement from season 1 and then this one from season 5, you can see the door is actually going the other way. Therefore, that's a continuity error that they would never
It's
allow,
been-
meaning that there's
it's-
some kind of illusion.
A series that goes from 1983 to 1989. This viewer, impossible to fathom that a door
Yeah.
could be replaced in that
No,
time.
it's got to be
Yeah.
some kind of secret Easter egg. It couldn't just be a continuity error,
It's
which
an
could happen
illusion.
from time
Right.
to time.
So I've done a quick Google. Conformity gate is what this thing has been.
Conformity
dubbed.
gate, I'm
Conformity
sorry, thank
gate.
you.
I don't know what that
But maybe we could talk about that when we get to the end of this, because yeah, maybe some people took the ending a certain way and started to go crazy and got the brain broke.
Oh, right.
Two other things I want to bring up just to gauge if you guys have watched them that I won't get into now, but I'm going to bring to our discussion. Have you guys watched either of the documentaries? The first Shadow Play documentary on Netflix, and now the newly released The Last Adventure, The Making of Season 5, 2-hour documentary focused on the Duffer Brothers, released
Huh.
today.
No, I
No.
actually when I got on Netflix, it was like I was gonna watch more
Look
of
for that
season
last
1
episode.
today.
Yep.
Yeah, when
I
people
was-
come out.
I was
But
rubbing my crystal ball.
the first thing I opened up Netflix, and the first thing that came up was that the making of The Last Adventure or whatever, and there was like a little scene that played from that. I was like, I'm okay not watching this. I think right now.
Jacob, I've watched them both now. It has changed what I now think of this final season, and
Wow.
I'm going to be bringing up.
Please
a
bring
lot
that
of
info.
this, so get ready, guys.
That's
I
great.
d-
That's great.
I did watch a couple like YouTube where they did like tours of some of the sets, you know, like the secret
Sure.
base and the radio station and Vecna's base at the end. But I didn't watch the Netflix one. But I will say, without having seen it, so maybe this all gets disqualified later, I'm glad that exists because I've been talking about how without DVDs we're losing special features and people like wanted to learn about movie magic. So I'm glad that it exists. But I don't know about the
Yeah.
content in it. But I will check it
That's
out.
cool, Mike. That's so true.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I just want to say, first of all, in Game of Thrones, when they accidentally left that coffee cup in the scene, that actually wasn't a mistake. That was a secret Easter egg for the secret final episode of Game of Thrones that they're still making.
Yeah, like the jeans guy in Mandalorian. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to come back and Grogu the
Uh,
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Jeans guy.
But yeah, basically episodes 5 through 7, I was really struggling getting through because I would just turn them on and then I would just kind of lose interest in them for a while. And then I'd be like, let me check out Fallout. What's happening on the Fallout TV show? I switch over to
That's
Fallout.
good.
But I finally got through them. And then I got to the last episode and I actually liked the last episode more than like 5 through 7 because I was like, oh, stuff's actually happening.
Oh.
It's still too long. It has like a weird structure to it where I was like, they're fighting the giant monster. It's like I'm like, this is the, big finale. I look at the runtime. I'm like, it's got to be wrapping up soon. An hour left. An hour
Yeah.
left in a 2-hour
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what? How is that even possible? Because there's like a
Look at the
45-minute
reveals.
epilogue.
It's like Return of the
Oh,
King,
yeah.
I guess. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Where are
Yeah.
they now, baby? You think we're done? You think cutting a character's head off means this show is
No,
done?
they defeated Vecna. It's
Fuck
over, right?
you.
No, there's 45 minutes left.
All right.
Spoiler
But yeah,
warning.
let's-
We should
Yeah,
say
we'll
from
get
this
into
entire
it.
series, probably.
Yeah, I'd
That's
say
right. Yeah,
let's.
don't listen to this if you haven't seen all of Stranger Things yet.
Or
I
if
would
you
say.
wonder if you just don't want to watch it and you want us to summarize it for
Yeah.
you, I guess you can watch it. But yeah,
That's an
spoilers
option,
for the finale. I don't know, should we go through the gate, fellas? All right, we're heading
Let's
into the
go
abyss.
through the gate.
Stranger Things finale right after this.
We're back. Like we said, we're totally tubular because we are in the 80s and we are getting strange with Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. We're getting
Things are so
strange. Episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. The finale, like I said before, we had Sorcerer is episode 4, the end of volume 1, which I saw people online saying Sorcerer wasn't even a class in 1986 or whatever. Like,
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Is that true? That was
like-
added later.
I didn't do my homework on it, but that's been alleged, so listeners let us know.
Mm.
A great
When
was
episode of
Vecna?
beloved episodes.
Mm.
Oh, probably in some early. Mike, crack open that D&D set behind you.
Yeah, I got the-
Look for the word Vecna real quick.
Yeah.
I want to make sure this is totally accurate. You know?
Well, Vecna's been a long time villain in D&D lore. Like,
right.
who's that buff guy who plays D&D? He's married to, he's a famous guy.
Vin Diesel.
Oh,
No.
no, the
Handsome
guy
man.
who's the werewolf. Yeah, handsome man. Joe Manganiello. from,
Yeah, Joe Manganiello's
Upcoming
character.
One Piece.
Yeah, in a Roll20 episode, he famously betrayed the entire party and stole the hand of Vecna for himself, and that's now canon in D&D lore.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So he can.
Oh, I
go
wish I
see
had
if he
him
was
out.
around in
something.
1983.
Yeah, I will.
I mean, it's not that important, but do you think it's funny that obviously all the characters in the show use these D&D terms to describe things like Vecna? Like, do you think you ever heard someone call him Vecna and he's like, why are you calling me that? That's not my name. My name's Henry Creel.
Or
you
call me
idiot."
one if you will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You call me Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Whatsits. Yeah, okay.
Mr. What's It?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that the kids would do it because that's their analog for it, but
Right.
check it out. Vecna
Just hearing
appeared...
Winona Ryder say Vecna, I was like, that's not his name.
Hopper, yeah. 1976, so he'd been established.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm not going to
More
look up the
accurate.
sorcerer thing, though.
All right, Mike,
but-
read the rest of these
So
titles.
these episodes
Read the rest of these episodes.
We get Shock Jock, Escape from Camazotz, The Bridge, and then The Right Side Up, and then finally Conformity
Wow.
Gate.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Great. Yes. Right. And then, of course, the special
the
episode.
ninth gate
yeah.
opens.
Wow.
That's
So
right.
here's the thing that I want to talk about just right off the bat. I think it really colors how I come to these episodes is that I fully decided, based on re-listening to our last episode, that I am a homer for Stranger Things. Like, I am like
Wow.
completely in the pocket for this show. And that whole
Okay.
episode where I'm like, don't ask me what happens in this show. And I keep like saying that like very openly of like, do not ask me. Like, especially this season where I'm like, why is that room melting and why does it suddenly stop melting for Jonathan Nancy? Do not ask me those questions.
You see, that's
I enjoy those
reality is
scenes.
being
I like them.
erased or
Mm.
something. Yeah.
Great. Sure.
Or something.
fantastic.
It's definitive answers here on
Doesn't
Normies
matter.
Like
And a
Us.
lot of Stranger Things, and when I see a lot of these fans who have to have psychological episodes to be like, no, here's actually why I do like it. I've created a false reality for myself. I'm like, no. Just accept that this is like a dumb show.
Yeah.
I don't know what
yeah.
happened, but whatever it was, I support it. That's called.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
I was watching in season 1. I was like, you remember like things were coming out of Will's walls and stuff? Like, what was up with that?
the Christmas lights. None of it
Yeah.
makes any sense now.
Mm.
No, it's all just, I mean, it's a lot of 80s, different sci-fi stuff thrown in, and everything doesn't need to be explained. Like, that's kind of in this lore sort of brained world that we live in where everything needs an explanation. It's like, isn't the whole point that it's like mysterious? We don't need to know an explanation for every little thing. And maybe that's kind of where Stranger Things trips itself up. Like, even explaining the upside down. Oh, the big twist, you don't understand. It's not a different world or a different dimension. It's actually the bridge to a different world.
A
Oh, yeah.
wormhole.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think
That's
about
right.
that? What a reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, but what does it meaningfully change? Oh, so there's another different world.
Nothing. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit? In fact,
It's just-
I said out loud while watching it, but I thought it was awesome.
yeah, it's
you don't
just a bad
understand the
neighborhood you got to
Demogorgons.
go through.
Yeah, the Demogorgons, they didn't come from the upside down. They came from the abyss, you idiots. It's
Yeah.
so yellow. It's yellower than you could possibly imagine there.
Yeah.
Um, No, but what does it meaningfully change about the Upside Down? I guess not that much. But it is an
Yeah, at
explanation, I guess.
all. It
Yeah.
it means that for some reason this whole time I can just punch through it, and if I accidentally do, I could make a hole into outer space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you shoot it with a shotgun.
That's so crazy.
It's not a shield
Yeah.
generator. It's actually a thing, a wormhole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remnant matter? What did he call it?
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
man,
yeah,
reverse matter.
dark
Yeah.
matter.
You know what that is? It's lazy matter. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, what the exotic matter. Oh my gosh.
Exotic
Exotic
matter.
matter.
Yeah.
Exotic matter.
Who expected the science teacher to, not to get ahead, to be a big part of these episodes?
Yeah.
Right.
Boy.
Well,
So that's where I am at. So first reactions from you guys, because as I'm saying, like I'm sort of as I'm watching it realizing that like I'm at this period where there's a show that's pure nostalgia of 80s. It's completely based on the vibes of Stephen King, my favorite writer. It
Mm-hmm.
has callbacks and throwbacks to things I remember like experiencing or growing up with people who were directly related to those events. And therefore, it's just for me. Like I was swept up in the mania of it. I have no feelings where I'm just going to be like let down at all by no matter what happens.
Fair.
wow. I think for me, I was kind of down on the first half of the season, and overall, I don't think it's I like I said, it has shades of Game of Thrones final season. I don't think it's as bad as Game of Thrones final season for me, only because number one, I'm a bigger Game of Thrones fan than I am a Stranger Things fan. So, I would consider myself a mega fan of Game of Thrones, and as someone who's read the books, I have a lot of very specific book reader complaints about the show, and especially about the final season. So for me, that was a bigger sort of catastrophe, and I think most people agree because it totally killed the sort of cultural relevance of that show in the final
Mm.
season. I don't think this season is that bad, but it's somewhere between that. I mean, I don't think it's an amazing final season either. So it ended up being maybe serviceable for me. I thought the ending was fine. I even liked how certain things wrapped up with 11 and stuff, which apparently a lot of fans didn't like.
How dare you? How dare you like
So
that, in fact.
I guess I kind of go against those fans and say, yeah, the finale was fine. There was a lot of filler in the episodes leading up to it that I was just like, sure don't care about any of this. And there's a lot of worlds. You have the Upside Down, you have the Abyss, you have Vecna's dream world where we spend a lot of time with
Camazotz, essentially.
Holly and Max.
Camazotz,
Yeah. And in the caves and all these kids and everything. Didn't care so much for that, but when it got to the final episode, they fight a big monster, they fight Vecna. I was like, okay, this is what I'm into. This is working for me. And then the epilogue, I was like, yeah, this wraps it up pretty well. But I guess a lot of people were unhappy with maybe the ambiguousness of Eleven's fate and stuff like that.
Yeah, so in the first block of episodes, I was pretty out on the Camazotz stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think we're kind of retreading stuff. Oh, more kidnapping. We did that in season 1 of this show. Like we're just kind of redoing all the Will stuff with Holly now, sort of. But then we're mixing up our metaphors with A Wrinkle in Time. It's like we should have stuck to D&D. I was pretty out on all that. So
Well,
in
she
this block
loves
it.
episodes,
Big
I was
fan of
out
that
on that
book.
too.
Mm.
Any of the stuff with Mr. What's Its House, I was like, get this Camazotz stuff. Like I wish we weren't
Yeah,
doing this.
come on.
Let's move it along. And yeah, overall, I think maybe I'm maybe the most out on the finale. I have issues with it narratively, but it does feel like somebody playing a D&D game where they're like, hey, guys, actually, I'm going to summer camp next week. We need to like kind of wrap this up. Like next session.
We're done.
Right.
Like, we need to finish it.
out.
Like we got to go. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially for me, I thought it was fine. It ended up being fine, and I'm not maybe as in the bag for it as Colin is. So for me, it's like, yeah, it was a fine show. It ended up fine. It could have had a better final season. It could have had a worse final season. So overall, it was okay. I didn't hate it. There's definitely problems I had with it, but I just don't have the capacity to care as much as something like Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, they really blew it with the final season. This is like, maybe they could have done certain things different, but overall it was fine.
And do you kind of inherently, just because it's more mature fiction, Jacob, believe the stakes more of a Game of Thrones? I mean, did you ever in your heart actually believe any of these characters were going to be killed off, or any sort of like, adult stakes would fall them?
The Dark
Yeah,
Christmas promise.
Well, I think that's kind of a problem with the Duffer Brothers and the people behind the show. Like, they were almost too afraid to kill any characters off. And the cast got so big that they're still introducing new characters in this season. Where, of course, you have Holly is a much bigger character now. You have even Robin's girlfriend as a character. You have Murray is still there for some reason. You have the science teacher. You have Derek.
And
it's
10
like
other
the cast
kids.
has gotten so big. It's like you should have killed some of these characters off. But my theory is, and they've had a couple deaths, but it's usually someone coming in for one season.
Yeah.
You know, your Joseph Quinn, your Rudy,
Max's brother, your Red Power Ranger,
Sean Astin, Bob.
Sean Astin. But
Yeah,
my theory,
Dark Montgomery, Red Power Ranger. Thank you, Mike.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He was great in
no,
that
but my
season,
whole
by the way.
theory stems from season 1 and going back and watching season 1. And remember, Barb, Nancy's
Yes.
best friend, Barb. Hashtag justice for Barb. We still on that hashtag.
Still on it. Yeah.
It's true, because she's the most done dirty character in the whole show, where it's like, man, she had to go to this douchebag guy's house with her friend and sit there, and like her friend
Not
blows
want
her
to do
off,
drugs.
and then she's just sitting on that diving board all sad, and then she dies because she goes in the upside down. She gets killed by the Demogorgon or whatever. And I was just like, I think the fan response to Barb dying and all the justice for Barb stuff, the Duffer Brothers like, all right, we're never killing off a major character again unless it's like a one-off new character in the season that you're like expecting to die. But really, I mean, Hopper should have died probably. Like, Murray could have died. Like, Steve could have died. Like, there's so many characters that like could have sacrificed themselves, and they were almost too afraid. They're like, no, everybody has to live. So that's my take on that.
Yeah. They kill one character that most of the fan base hated anyway. Like that's all that
But there was a fan reaction where they're like, bring Barb back or whatever. Like, and
Bring
the fact
Barb
that like
back.
Nancy just forgets about Barb, her best friend, and then they never mention her in this season once, and it's like all the bad things they've been through, and like they don't even say like, remember Barb.
In the documentary, and get ready for me to say that 1,000 times, the Duffer Brothers at the first table read, and I'm just going to, whenever one Duffer Brother is talking, I am going to say the Duffer Brothers, because again, no interest in figuring out which one of these Duffer Brothers is which.
I have twin blindness.
Duffer Brothers says, God, look at all you. God, we should have killed some of you off. And then they start laughing because he says full room, he says, and you're just like, this sucks. It is kind of a true fact. It's funny that you say that, Jacob. I almost do wonder if the Barb stuff was traumatizing. That there was any backlash to this show at first was them being like, no, smooth the edges off. No.
Right. Even the Joe Quinn character, Eddie, right, coming in and having this sacrificial death, it's like that could have been a role that like Steve provided. Like, you could have just had that be Steve's role, but instead they just had to introduce another character instead to kill off because they were so afraid of killing off anyone from their core cast.
Right.
But yeah.
And it could have been a studio note, because like this show was supposed to be one season, then it was really huge, and Netflix is like, oh, we're doing more, but don't do that Barb thing again. Don't you dare. Keep everybody. That could have come from up top, but who knows.
Right.
Yeah. But shall we dive in and talk about some of these?
Yeah, let's do that.
So Shock Jock is essentially the episode where Henry is telling the kids that they're safe, and then Max, Holly, and Derek are trying to formulate a plot to escape and get the kids to like believe them that Mr. What's-It's is bad. And at the same time, Eleven and Hopper in the military base with Linda Hamilton, and they're escaping with Kali, who we discovered in episode 4, number 8, is being used by the government.
This all sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of too many characters.
First off, absolute failure with Linda Hamilton's character.
Yeah.
It doesn't
no.
make one
Terrible.
lick of sense why they don't bring Professor Brenner back, why they don't bring aliens back. What's his fucking name?
Paul Reiser.
All right, sir. Thank
Nice.
you,
Yeah.
Jacob. None of this tracks at all. She's a complete waste this entire season. She has nothing to do. I'm annoyed by every single scene she is in now in hindsight.
She serves, the only purpose she serves is they're like, oh, we need to bring Dr. Brenner back, but we already killed him off. We can't bring him back now. So let's just have a new character that takes his exact role, and we'll get a recognizable 80s actress like Linda Hamilton. Oh, she was in Terminator. Let's get her.
They've done that for every season, Sean Astin and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And Matthew Modine, sort of the equivalent of a Linda Hamilton, but it just does not work.
Right,
at
but
all.
didn't they kill that, like 11 kills Dr. Brenner or something?
I can't remember.
Dr. Brenner did get
truly
killed. I think
don't
a Demogorgon got him in the end, or something like that. But he's dead.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Or
they
is it
did
the
kill him off.
Upside
They're like,
Down?
oh shit, now we need someone to fill his role as the evil.
Maybe they
army
shouldn't have killed anyone.
scientist
Maybe we
person.
were wrong earlier. You know, keep everybody alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are right.
And
Where's
Like,
Paul
when you look at it, like,
Reiser?
oh, if you kill her, then someone else will just take her place, and that's kind of the never-ending cycle that is 11 and Collie are talking about this. Like, that's her choice of like, I basically need to
Remember.
disappear because it'll never end.
Remember, sister, we must
Sister.
kill ourselves, sister, because they'll just make more, sister. We'll kill brother too. You and me, sister.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
this is
sister,
good. Use
brother.
all your screen time on this, Stuffer Brothers. You got this. You're nailing it.
Yeah, and we do get a weird, like, for the whole first 4 episodes of the season, I'm like, I don't know what she wants to do. I don't know what her goal is. And it's revealed that she has all these pregnant ladies that they're trying to give blood infusions to give the babies powers. And it's like, that's what they're
Yes.
doing? They just want to make X-Men?
They want to
You
make
know?
more 11s because essentially it all
Right.
started obviously with Henry Creel, one, who
Mhm.
we now see how he got his upside down powers because he got infected with a piece of the mind flayer, essentially.
After
that
getting shot in the
that
hand.
guy in the cave.
You,
yeah.
Jacob, not to Jon Snow you. You know nothing, boy. Until you
That's
watch the documentary of the play and truly
Oh,
read
right.
what the play is about and how Victor really got his powers, you know nothing, my
I still don't
friend.
know
Wow.
what's in that play or how it's relevant.
Okay.
Yes,
Or
and
he
to
was in high
make
school
this
with
finale
Hopper and
so tied in, to make this final memory that is holding up his whole business to be a scene that is played out in the play is completely insane.
Wow.
right. But I think I got it
Incredible.
from the cave flashbacks. Basically, as a young kid, he was a Boy Scout in the caves. He comes across a scientist who stole a briefcase. Inside the briefcase, it's a piece of the mind flayer, and it infects him. It maybe makes him go insane. Maybe he was already insane. Maybe they're kind of symbiotic in that way. He kills that guy, of course, and he becomes one. And then through his blood, that's how 11 and all these other children were created. So
Jacob,
now-
I take it back. You know everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You nailed it. You're great, dog. You've 100% unraveled.
So they've done this blood
I've
transfusion
seen
thing
it right out
before.
of you.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. But also, we also know from that season 1 that she was also Elle's mom was given just loads of LSD too while she was getting this blood. So that's
right. It was
good,
like
too.
MK Ultra. They're leaning into the MK Ultra. Government was trying to create super soldiers or whatever to fight the commies, fight the Russians, Cold War
That's right.
shit.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's what's so funny is all this supernatural shit is like the US Army saying, whatever this is, we're going to harness it against the Soviets because it's the 80s and it's the Cold War, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Still going. Only they got only a couple months to a year before tear down that wall,
Right.
We're
By
almost
87,
there.
it's like, yeah, it's almost over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
88, 89, something like that. But we do get Holly. Derek gets spooked, I think, and chickens out or whatever. He gets caught, but Holly and Max end up like in a house. Vecna's catching up to them, and that's when Will is able to take over Vecna and stop him from getting them, at the last minute. So we get Will doing a little bit of something with
Right.
that.
Awesome.
Right. And again, Colin, just explain to me how Vecna went to high school with Joyce and Hopper, even though the age doesn't really line up. He's like 20 years younger than Winona Ryder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you would
and-
think. Handsome
David
boy that
Harbour.
he is.
Jamie Campbell Bower, he's like in his 30s, but
Well, once he
okay.
became Vecna, he stopped aging.
Yeah, you would have to assume.
That could be
or
true. So he
something.
became
Sure.
Vecna,
And that's
In
just
the-
his form now, is his last human age of 22 or whatever.
No, because they're all raised in the 50s. And also in the play, I think Bob is like a huge character too, because Vecna's dating his sister.
That's right. Yeah, his sister's a big thing in the play, I've
Oh,
heard.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and again, it would cut to the high school with Max, and it'd be like, yeah,
Do up,
there's,
do up, do up. Wow.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to get out of his
I was
brain, but it doesn't follow a linear line. You just kind of figure it out as you go. And they go to the stage and go through the curtain.
Wanna
It's all
see
just
go
crap.
towards
Dustin's
skateboard
mom
shop.
giving a hand job?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
not really.
Mrs. Wheeler's over there, and Steve's dad's over there.
Being a
We can't
douchebag.
stop at the sightseeing tour.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this too, and this is kind of funny to think about when I was watching season 1 too. All the adult actors in this, all the kid actors obviously never lived through the 80s, so they didn't know what it's like. So they're kind of going off of,
Vibes.
vibes. But all the adults, it's interesting because they would have been like kids or teenagers in the 80s. So they're going off their lived experience, but they're playing adults due to their age difference, you see.
They're playing
I
their
don't know what
older
her
cool
name
cousins.
is.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I don't know what her name is. Nell something, whoever plays the new Holly edition,
Oh,
the
Holly.
actress that takes over Holly.
Oh, that's right.
There's in the documentary, the Duffer Brothers are directing her, and she goes too fast, and they go, "Whoa, slow down, Speedy Gonzalez!" And she says, "What did you say?" They say, "Speedy Gonzalez."
You
She
can't
says,
man.
"What?"
that
And she
anymore.
can't
goes,
say
and he
that.
goes, "No, you don't know who that is." And she goes, "No," and he goes, "Oh, I'm
No,
so old."
12.
He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
But it is a weird
That's
one to
wild.
be like, "Stop saying Speedy Gonzalez."
It's just a cartoon little mouse. Chill out. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah,
context.
that's
Yeah, we're
funny.
old.
You forget. I mean, every generation, every 10 months now, somebody loses something that you think is like, well, everybody knows that. It's like, no,
Right.
they don't.
I
You don't know what
experienced that a
Yabba
lot
Dabba
as
Doo
having,
is?
grew up in the 90s. And then if you ask younger Gen Z about certain things in the 90s, they're like, I don't know what that is. But I just think it's interesting, like Winona Ryder, Dennis, David Harbour, and all these people, like they lived through the 80s as younger, teens. And then, so basically they're playing the adults that they knew in that era. So,
Yeah,
anyways.
it's an interesting kind of vibe it's got going.
At one point, literally, the Duffer Brothers bring up, they're like, our whole aesthetic that we go for and what makes us unique is we really have an emphasis on production design, because growing up as kids who loved movies in the 80s, the first director we were inspired by was Tim Burton, and we're really excited by these movies that he made, like Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. The whole time you're thinking, those star Winona Ryder.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
like,
Yeah, she was
you're
a
talking
huge
about
hit
the
for
person
them.
who influenced the 80s.
Right.
Yes. She's like the it girl of the 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was the Gen X it girl. And that's why she was such a huge get for the show, I think, in season 1. She was the biggest star, of course.
She's still top billed. She is first. She
Yeah.
is
Yep.
still to the final episode, first billed in every episode. And what a fucking bummer that she gets nothing to do this entire season, and basically has had nothing to do since season 2. Really.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
used to be like a main character.
They throw her
Yeah.
a bone at the end, but it's not enough.
They give her this whole thing at the end in this crazy shot where she's like, "Well, it's always been down to you and me, Vecna." And as a viewer, you're like,
Oh yeah.
I do not believe this for 10 seconds. It's
Yeah.
so
Right.
crazy.
It's like your first day in the Upside Down. You would not be reacting well to any of this, but okay.
Yeah. It's
Um,
so insane.
And then we get, so Hopper and
But-
Eleven escape the base, and then Dustin and them are looking for the Empire Strikes Back, the Return of the Jedi. That's the one they're
The
doing. We
shield
need to shut
generator.
down the shield generator. They're in the
So Return
lab.
of Jedi- Oh, that's the one with all the little teddy bears. That's my favorite. I think Steve
Yeah.
says something like that.
Yeah,
Guys, this is where,
What's
I
it-
mean, this is where no arguments. If you guys even try to refute that this is the best part of the show, the heart of the show, the fucking Dustin and Steve tugging at
Yes.
each other's hearts,
Yes,
him
absolutely.
saying, "Don't go up there, don't go up there, it's gonna fall," and he's like, "Just relax, will you let me?" "No, you're gonna die, and if you die, you'll be
can't
dead."
die.
Like, you can't, and then they're just
I can't
crying, and
lose you,
the
man.
fucking the stairway dissolves and the ladder drops, and the look on Joe Keery, Steve's fucking face, is he's like, "Oh my god!" And when he yells at Dustin, and it's like, Eddie was an idiot and has that fucking
Yeah.
heart to heart with them.
Like, he didn't need to sacrifice himself. He was
That's-
fucking stupid of him. I was like, holy shit, they're going there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that relationship is great, and like, yeah, they're kind of at odds this season because Dustin's whole thing is he's still grieving Eddie. And he's like, yeah, I can't let that happen again to Steve. Like, I can't lose anyone else.
Not to you.
Yeah,
Not
not
you.
to you.
He says like, not you, not you.
You die, I die.
Oh,
You die, I die.
oh.
Yeah, this
and
is the best stuff for sure.
yeah, like Gatton Matarazzo crushing it in that scene. Like that's some of the best acting in this season is when he's just having that emotional breakdown. So
I think
shout
this
out.
is kind of secretly his season. I think he's the actor who ended up impressing me the most.
I said,
Well, out of
when we were-
all the core, the
Four.
core kids, it's
Yeah.
like core 4. They don't know what else to do with a lot of them. Like Lucas, he's just like, oh, he's still grieving Max in a coma.
Oh,
Like, that's
Max.
his whole thing.
Oh,
Mike,
the
they don't really know what
Max.
to do with. Will gets
It's my
some stuff
girlfriend,
this
11.
season.
But I'm
I don't
gay.
like girls. Yeah.
But Dustin actually has
We'll
the
talk
most
about
interesting
that.
arc out of
Yeah.
any of them. I totally agree with that.
No, I said on the first when we did volume 1, like you guys were a little colder on it, but I really like Angry Dustin. Like I like where this could go, and I think they did that's probably the best job they did is getting Dustin to come around and reconcile with Steve. The you die, I die. I love that stuff. So good work, Gatton Matarazzo.
That was such an organic relationship that I'm sure the Duffer Brothers had no intention in season 1 of like, oh, the Steve the bully character is going to become best friends with Dustin, but it just kind of happened throughout the seasons, and they're like, this pairing works so well, and so that's a totally organic relationship that grew throughout the show. So I think that's really
Chips
interesting.
Ahoy. How many children are you friends with? Like to get to where we are now, it's incredible stuff. Yeah,
right. Robin,
so
we got Colin's favorite character, Rockin' Robin.
But so that's probably one of the relationships that I like the most, but also in these hallway scenes is the relationship I like the least, which is Nancy and Jonathan. They're the other team running around, and I don't like any of their stuff that much at all, except for the
I feel like
the unproposal I think is all right. But that's in the next episode.
Again, it's like they didn't want to know. They didn't know what they wanted to do with Nancy and Jonathan, or they're like, Nancy has become like, her whole arc is like, oh, she's a badass now, and she like shoots guns and stuff. And it's like, okay, I guess, and so she has to figure out who she is outside of this relationship.
She is dressed exactly like Sylvester Stallone as John Rambo from Rambo First Blood Part 2. Like literally she has the curly mullet. She has the ability to use the assault rifle in ways that I've truly never seen before. She is such an incredible shot and such a badass.
Blasting
I love
soldiers. When they show up, it's like, oh, Hopper killing soldiers. Okay, I expect that. Nancy getting out with the fucking assault rifle and just mowing down
18-year-old girl killed people. Like no matter how this ends, she's gonna be like,
US
of course,
Army
I have
soldier.
a thirst for blood. I'm taking
trained
lives.
personnel. Yes, exactly. Like Jonathan, you're too like laid back, man. I'm a killer.
Nancy.
But yeah, then
but Nancy, I'm stoned.
I don't like you when you smoke weed. I don't like you.
What
when
happened
you
to
drink.
that pizza guy?
Yeah.
What is that'll be the next
this?
one.
Where's
that's not till
Carlisle?
the next episode.
So this one ends when Nancy shoots the shield generator. It's not a shield generator because their radio was broke. They couldn't say
Dustin
stop.
is saying through the radio,
and then we get
it's
the
not a
melting
shield
down.
generator. Don't
Can
shoot
I-
it. We're all gonna die. Yeah,
Can I talk about the play for just a little bit?
Yes,
Because this
please.
is probably the biggest tie to the play.
please do.
So in the play, the first experiment ever shown is the Philadelphia experiment. Are you guys aware of the Philadelphia experiment?
Oh yes.
The USS
Vaguely.
Philadelphia, it is a battleship that was transported. It teleported or disappeared, right? And it was a government experiment. What happened with it? It appeared somewhere else. We don't know, right? It's used in a lot of fiction and stuff, and it was one of the jumping off points for the Duffer Brothers when this whole thing was kicked off. It is revealed that Dr. Brenner's father was the scientist in charge of the Philadelphia experiment, and on the USS Philadelphia, he was trying to make a force field. Instead, what he did was open up the pocket to the upside down.
Okay.
He basically set off the gate, basically, right? But not large enough to actually set it for the area or whatever that locks it into the time. He's just transported somewhere else, and he comes back through our dimension with a new blood type. That new blood type is going to be that thing that Jacob talked about with Vecna, right? Blah, blah, blah. That leads to all this
It's like a
stuff.
piece of the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer is indigenous to the Abyss, I guess, and infects
So
Vecna.
later, Dr. Brenner grows up trying to recreate his father's experiments. He activates this shield core thing, which generates this exotic matter. This is what creates the upside down. So this is done in the play to create this floating ball thing. That is what they shoot.
Oh,
And that
okay.
creates the wormhole that connects the
That
abyss
creates
to
the
our
wormhole
world.
to the planet, the abyss, which again somehow has oxygen on it. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Because the
Just
upside
walk
down is
around in this yellow desert. Yeah.
right.
Guys,
Yeah.
we shouldn't be. I would constantly be saying we shouldn't be breathing in any of this.
I think
Well, they
at one
established-
point Robin's girlfriend
Yeah.
is like, "Should we be
Yeah.
breathing this stuff in the
Yeah.
upside down?" And she's like,
She
"No,
goes, "Probably
probably
not."
not.
Probably not.
Probably
Yeah,
all
they're
gonna
like-
get cancer in 20 years." Yeah,
It's just asbestos. There's enough of it in their schools and stuff. They're already exposed.
right.
You
Um,
think
lead
about
paint.
that scene in the Peacemaker season 2 finale where they're going through all the doors, but they have all that heavy equipment on, like no matter like what dimension they go to, and it's like, no, you have none of that with the upside down.
Right.
You know, the 80s were a little bit more laid back. We'd just gotten seatbelts in cars, you know.
Hey, you don't wear helmets
Yeah.
on your fucking
People were still
bikes,
smoking
so-
inside.
You can still drink in the car, I think,
absolutely.
to a degree. I'm not sure when that ended up.
Hell
but,
yeah, brother.
Hey, brother.
yeah, Dustin figured out that the upside down is not a whole dimension. It's just a tunnel. Like he does his geometry and it's like, oh, it's just a circle around the town. I don't know what part of that has to do with
Wow.
Russia, but whatever. Forget about that.
Look, have you seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine? It won't come out for a couple years, but get ready, Dustin. It's gonna blow your mind.
Wormhole, you're gonna love
guess
wormholes, Dustin.
Why would it have a floor? Why would it have any kind of floor? Wouldn't it be just some sort of open, vacuumous?
Yeah, like a wormhole.
Yeah, it doesn't really work how wormholes work in most things. Like again, Deep Space Nine, a wormhole is in space that connects two parts
it's
of
just a
the
tunnel.
galaxy together. Yes, it's essentially like a shortcut through space.
No, this just creates like a monster skid row that you have to pass through to go to the next town over. Like,
You
It
should not
creates
be able
a
to breathe. in
sketchy
there.
neighborhood.
yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's just vines growing everywhere. But again, it should not be
it's kinda
something that you can
goopy.
just raw dog the air in there and somehow pass through into the abyss. Like you would be in outer space. That's what a wormhole is.
I kind of
Well,
accept it under the rules of Superman 2025 Lex Luthor rules, where it's like dirty wormhole energy, where it's like, I feel like if aliens saw what we did with the upside down, they'd be like, well, you're not even supposed to be able to do that. Like, that's like, what you did was like so gross. Like, that's the worst way to like
That's the worst
interplanetarily travel.
Right.
It's like, yeah, what did you do?
Yeah, right.
I
Just
don't know,
failed
you can just
upwards.
stick your head up there and then you're in the abyss.
Yeah,
But essentially,
it's like monsters can kind of just like crawl through it, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
You could drive a car through it if you really wanted to.
what is this?
But the big thing that's happening, right, is that it's drawing it in. So the abyss is getting closer to our planet, and they're going to
Vecna's-
smash together or something.
Vecna's plan is revealed that he is merging dimensions. He is bringing the abyss to Earth using the upside down.
That's right. Oh, and then the episode is called Shock Jock because they captured Demogorgon to get basically Wi-Fi for Will to be able to tap into the hive mind, and that's where like, oh shit, his plan
Right.
is going to be to squish everything together.
And then Will's like brain is stolen at the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, right. So now he's like in a coma.
One
Yeah, you'll be my
more
spy
time.
one more time. Yeah,
But does he ever do that? He doesn't
Yeah, he
really,
does.
right?
he finds out where
Not
Max
really. Well, I
really
guess
is.
he reveals Max's
Oh,
okay.
right.
location
That's
of her
right.
body.
Yeah. No.
No, not Vecna.
Ah!
So yeah, we could roll into 6. That's Escape from
Yeah,
Camazotz.
let's
That's where
roll
kind of all this stuff starts
So-
happening. We get Melty Lab.
It shows a lot of teenagers just going like, ah!
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all going through it.
They really are.
But yeah,
They
Dustin
really are.
finds Brenner's notebook in the Upside Down, which is why he understands now. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
This is a fucking wormhole. But yeah, Camazotz. So we have another different world, which is the world of Vecna's mind, which is where all these babies are, their consciousnesses are, because they're the vessels, right? Of course, and
They are plugged into the abyss, and he is gathering his 12 to execute his
Yes.
plan.
And Max is also there. She's hiding in the cave, which is like the cave of bad memories for Vecna. So he can't go there because he's so scared, because it reminds him of the time that he first encountered the
He
mind
bashed a
flayer.
man to
and
death with a
everything.
rock. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
got fucking shot in the hand.
Yep.
right.
Vecna hand, no less. Yeah.
But the question is like, did Vecna make him aggressive and go crazy, or was he already like that and it just kind of made him worse?
Right. Well, the show seems to say, because they do make appeals to him throughout these episodes of like, look, man,
Right.
it's not too late. You can help us defeat the Mind Flayer and be free. He's like,
In your
nah,
heart.
never.
Darth Vader moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
come to the light side. This is
Never.
just the Mind Flayer inflicting you. He's like, no, you understand. Like, we were made for each other. Like,
I really
we're
like the
We're
dark
dating.
side.
yeah, I love the dark side.
I killed them, women and children, like animals. Yeah. I hate
like
sand,
it.
though. Anyway.
Yeah.
We get our hospital escape stuff, too, where Max is able to get out of Camazotz, but Holly has to go to a different exit. So Max is kind of coming to, but she can't walk. So they're getting her out of the hospital with Lucas.
She's going to wake up wherever her body is, and Holly's body is in the
So
abyss.
she's got to go to her house
or
whatever in the Upside Down, yeah. But what do we
Max
think of the
wakes up,
hospital?
running
Karen,
up that hill.
Running up that hill.
Karen.
There's a lot of great stuff in this. I love the scene where Maya Hawke is trying to convince her girlfriend, and the girlfriend says, "You're on drugs. I knew it.
Drugs.
You're
Yeah.
gonna come through withdrawal. This is horrible."
You're
and
a
they have that whole
benzo
thing where
addict.
she's like, "Baby, I'm still gonna take you to that Italian restaurant or whatever
Benzo's.
she says, and we're gonna get those. Yeah, we're gonna get those breadsticks." When she also has to get on the comms or the AV or whatever, the PA, and say. Lucas, they're coming for you, and just like blurts out all this stuff. I love scenes like that where you just sort of get a voice desperately setting up our heroes for action. I love that shit.
Yeah. And like we get the demo dogs back, so we've been like, where have they been since
That's
the
right.
past couple seasons? Where have they been?
Sure.
Where were
Great.
they in the finale?
Well, we'll get
How
there.
dare you.
Where were the Demogorgons?
How
But yeah,
dare you.
obviously we get the Mrs. Wheeler hero moment, right? In the hospital, saving them.
They got the Jurassic Park. They're hiding behind one of the dryers, and the demo dogs. It's like that kitchen scene. Like, what's going to happen? They got to play the radio, but the demo dogs are going to hear it to keep Max from, the thing. And then Wheeler makes an improvised explosive device, and we see the demo dogs blow up.
That's
and
right.
It's badass reveal for Mrs. Wheeler.
He did the laundry.
Yes.
Oh, I'm back. Where's Mr. Wheeler? I don't know. He's probably still.
Hey, whatever. Golfing.
Who cares?
And then what happens? Escape from Camazotz.
Yeah. Holly, I think, eventually convinces the kids that we got to get out of here with dipshit Derek.
He's
They're
bad.
Oh yeah, they see Holly
Max is
briefly
right.
floating in the Upside Down or whatever, trying to get out of the abyss.
Ollie!
But back.
Oh
by
yeah, 11
Vecna.
and 8 eventually get to Mr. Whatsit's house and are able to conjure an illusion to show the true side of Mr. Whatsits. They hide the kids with the illusion spell, and they're like, "Oh, he is a
Right,
bad guy,"
yes.
and then they all hoof it.
That's right.
They all meet
I
up
love
in
that.
11's mind, I guess. It's Max and Collie and 11, and they all meet up in her mind.
Jay, what if I said, hey, no matter what happens, meet up with me in my mind later?
Yeah.
Then we'll all go
Right?
into Vecna's mind. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of
guess so.
They initially meet up in her mind, then Max is like, "I'll show you how to get through Vecna's mind," and then we'll get to the kids, and then Max eventually wakes
go
up. It's the whole
together.
thing. Yeah.
It's awesome. Do we do we want to talk about the teenagers in the melty room?
The unproposal. I did think this was pretty all right. I
I
don't know why the room
I
stopped
thought it
melting.
was. It doesn't make literally a lick of sense what happens in this scene. That it truly seems like they're going to get swallowed up, and it almost seems like they're in one of those classic sitcoms, like the room's not going to open up until you guys resolve your feelings for each other, or something. Like, it's so stupid.
That's like explicitly
but
what it is. It seems though.
I like that the direction that it takes is we actually don't need each other, and we are going to find our own independence, since it seems like our characters have become lost in our obsessions with each other, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I was
Yes,
okay
and that's
with
what
that.
obviously Jonathan and Steve have had this thing this whole season where Jonathan feels threatened by Steve or whatever, but it's really because of his feelings of insecurity in the relationship, and Nancy being like, "Yeah, Steve's not the right one for me either. We're friends, but I need to like figure out who I am outside of a relationship, I guess, and find myself." But it's interesting in real life, these actors have been in a long-term relationship together. So it's an interesting way to end their story with them
10
breaking up.
years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, Nancy
So,
Wheeler will
met on the
not marry
first
me.
season of the show.
Yeah. So I was fine with that.
Will you not marry me? That's so good.
Like that's like an iconic line. I'm like, I would never thought to write that. Like I like that.
Yeah.
I also have my notes. It's just so gooey. It is just so gooey. I don't know. I like
so
the
gooey,
meltiness.
Gooey in there.
So crazy.
It's just so gooey. Yeah.
But they all get out somehow, and they make it back to the real world, right?
Yeah. Holly gets pulled back, but Max gets back. They're all in the real world. And
what do you now? There's the meme of them running. How long it takes? How they stop and have an entire conversation.
Oh, the kids running or the. Yeah, just
Holly and
Max and Holly running.
Holly and Max. Yeah.
You have to go your own way. I'm going towards the Kate Bush song. You have to find
I didn't
your own
need Kate Bush though. Anyway,
I
just needed to
I
have a
didn't
good
realize.
memory.
I didn't realize. I still feel him here, right here. Anyways, we should probably go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good luck.
Shut up.
Yep, see ya.
Get through the fucking portal, you idiots. Don't
Yeah,
stop for anything. Just get out of the dream world.
Yep. I don't
And
wanna
now,
go
so
back ever.
do you like with Max when she comes back to the real world? She's basically has to be stuck in a wheelchair the whole time because her body is like still reacclimating from coming out of a coma that she can't really move for most of it.
I mean, I guess they use it to good effect in that one scene when she gets kind of pulled into Dream World and she can stand up.
Right.
Am I bothered by it? What else do I expect? The last time we saw this woman, she was floating in the sky and her bones were snapping in half and her eyes were spewing blood out. And she's like, it's a little blurry. Am I going to be okay? And they're like, you'll be able to see fine. And you're probably just tired. We'll get you out of that chair in a bit. It's like, no, tell her she will never walk again. Like,
Consequences.
Put real stakes in this. Yes, put real consequences. I didn't want death, but I wanted, like...
Yeah.
something to matter. I wanted, Max to overcome something, I guess. But at the end, when she's just skateboarding and she's like, the use of my legs.
Yes.
Right.
We're back. No, the heaviest wound carried in this entire show was Dustin mourning Eddie. Like, that's the biggest thing that someone took away with them from this whole experience. Yeah.
Yes, you're so true.
So, low stakes in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm just checking my notes here. So Max is
they come up with a whole plan to. They come up with a whole plan that like they're on the radio tower or whatever, and the abyss is getting closer, and they're going to stop the abyss by taking out Vecna, right?
Everybody escapes. Yeah,
everybody escapes.
The start of the next episode, right? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody escapes except for Holly. So they're like, all right, well, we need to get into the abyss. We get more scenes of. Hey, I have a plan, but I have a different plan. Well, let me make a metaphor. Here's a slinky and a flashlight. What if we did this?
I can't believe
so many plans.
I can't believe that literally every episode has to start with, so hold on, bear with me here. But what if
this represents this? And what if we do
like,
this?
oh my God. And when, now, we've had the ooey gooey, or whatever they were called, the gooey butter bars, or whatever it was. The Nutter Butter drive the BMW through it, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much shitting on Steve for him being a moron that they play up this last one of like, hold on, you guys really don't see the idea of what to do here? We let the planets crash together, but we're standing on the radio tower, which if you guys recall is really tall because I raced Jonathan up there once to date a girl. It's like, it's so unearned and undeserved. It's like the plan doesn't make any fucking sense. You're playing it up like it's this super obvious thing. It's not. You're giving it to you're giving it to Steve as this sort of like, mea culpa or whatever, and it comes up so inauthentic. And for him to give all of this, and when they all look to Dustin at the end, and they're like, "It's a good idea." It fucking sucks.
Yeah. Oh, but first we have to back up because in episode 7, we of course have Will, his big arc, right? Of course,
that's happened already. Or that's about to happen. Is they're going to jump
7,
back
I believe.
That's in 7. I mean, this big moment where he's like, you know what? Gather the entire main cast. I have something I need to.
Murray,
Mom,
get everybody.
What's Murray doing? Make sure Murray gets in here.
Yeah, Murray's
going
to
in the bathroom. We're not waiting. Mom,
Robin's girlfriend.
Get him in here.
Holly,
I'm not starting till
Eleven's
Murray's
weird
here.
sister
Holly,
that I've never
Holly, how are you doing?
said 2 words to.
You could probably read my mind, so you're probably going to want to know this. Get in here, Holly.
But this is a
this,
big
of course,
scene.
the big coming out speech. Yeah.
Hopper, you've always been like a dad to me.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever spoken to you.
Like, really?
Will.
I just like your
said-
mom. I just like your mom, Will.
If he said this whole speech, Jacob, and it ended with Noah Schnapp saying, "So every character in this room, raise your hand if we've shared dialogue together," and nobody raises their hands.
It's a real Legolas Frodo
I was
situation.
gonna say,
it
like,
feels
why
like.
does Murray need to be there? Like, have Murray and Will ever said 2 words to each other? I don't know.
Not
In
that I
the
know.
first season, or I'm sorry, in the documentary,
Yeah.
Dustin, Lucas, and Will are hanging out, and Will goes, "God, it just takes me back, doesn't it?" Noah Schnapp says this. He's like, "It just takes me back." You guys believe this? Do you guys remember like the first season? And they
Yeah, you
they
were
both
like
kind of
not
go
in it.
like, well, they both go, "Yeah, kind of maybe." And he goes, "Well, I don't at all. I was just there for like one day, remember?" And they're like, "Oh
Right.
yeah," but we would always be like, "Noah's here!" Like
We
we'd
miss
always be
Will.
like so excited, you know? Like, and he's like, "Yeah," and he just kind of like he comes off like so desperate and sad. It's so interesting. Now,
Yeah.
online, the reaction to this scene, which is we should set up a
Well,
moment where his character.
yes. I just want to say in season 1, what you were saying, it is funny to look at the credits and it's like the main 3 kids get, high casting or,
Yeah.
high billing in the first season. And then in the also starrings, that's where Noah Schnapp comes up in the season 1.
course.
He's really
Right.
not in it very much, but then he
Yeah,
becomes a bigger
which
part after season 2.
makes sense. He becomes a regular in season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big plot device with that season 2 too.
So,
But yes.
he's this young kid who's had the struggles this entire time. He's possessed with Vecna. He has these new sorcerer powers. He has it in his mind that Vecna is going to exploit a weakness of his, that he needs to have a truthful moment of facing that weakness head on to overcome the powers that might sort of be hindering them going forward. Say he gets possessed again, stolen, spies, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now, he gathers everyone around. At first, he literally just talks to 2 people. He talks to Winona Ryder and he talks to his best friend, Finn Wolfhard, and says, like,
You're going to want to hear this too, Mike.
"You're going to want to hear this too, Mike. Sit down. I
Let's
feel
just get
different."
everyone. Yeah.
And then it cuts to Maya Hawke, who's like beaming and smiling the whole time. Like, I found it to be a beautiful moment. I think it's executed very well. There is a lot of fervor online to that opinion that we're kind of poking fun of, that it seems this huge halt in action and self-centered moment for this character to be like, "Hold on, everybody. Before we get out there, I'm gay, and you all need to know that. Any
Yeah.
questions?" And it maybe comes off like that a little. I cried through the whole thing. I don't know. It ends with Jonathan, his brother, crying and saying, "You'll never be any different to me," and stuff. Like it's a scene
a good
that
moment.
has him not saying "I'm gay" as well, and the fact that it's the 1980s, that's incredibly truthful, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I found it a little unrealistic in terms of it is the 80s. You essentially, he's telling a whole room of people. Statistically, even some of those people would probably have certain feelings about that, because in the 80s, people don't realize,
Yeah.
things were super like homophobic in mainstream culture until like the 2000s, like the 2010s, basically.
Yeah.
So to have like a whole room of people in the 80s and not one person is like actually against that, even if they're their friend, because it's small town Indiana. And I feel like the first season captures that a lot more when you have the bullies like calling him the F slur and everything. And it's like, they wouldn't do anything like that now in season 5. But it was a nice moment. And it's, like you said, he gives this whole speech. He never says the word gay. He says like he had a crush on a good friend of his, but he also doesn't say outright that it's Mike, but I guess Mike just kind of understands that. And then they have a conversation later where it's like, yeah, but we'll always be best friends.
Friends.
Because
hold on.
I like that. Yeah.
Best friends.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be friends.
That was great. So
I want to be best friends.
I assume that Mike does understand that he was talking about him and everything.
100%.
And also the important thing is it wasn't about Mike specifically. It was about Will coming to terms with his own feelings and channeling that into like this crush that he has on Mike, but then also realizing like, oh, it does, like, I can go on and live my life and I'll meet someone else eventually in college or whatever.
I think, and we see the thing at the end, and just to kind of just talk about the gayness in general real quick.
Mm.
Um, I guess there is this kind of question of like when something becomes flanderized, and to again say like sand off the edges as I did before, where it's something sort of like distills itself down to become more pure, quote unquote. Like Jacob saying that in season 1 you can say the F word, but now we know of like what Stranger Things is and the attention it gets. It's not really going to kind of have that scene by like sort of what the show becomes.
You can say the same
Right.
thing too. Like they weren't the bullies were racist against Lucas in season 1, and now again an interracial relationship in the 80s in small town Indiana with Max and Lucas would be a much bigger thing.
Absolutely.
Than being
They
out
be
in a relationship.
catching
It just-
glances at walking down the mall or whatever, but yeah.
But where is the actual truth? What
Well, let me
is
say-
the real show?
Well, what I think is
You know,
start
on that
in-
sliding scale.
Yeah, well, I think the scale slowly slides from season 1 to 5, where you start with a show set in the 80s trying to portray a more authentic 80s, and then you have a show set in the 80s that's trying to portray 2025 sensibilities by the end of it. So they kind of
it got a little
shift that.
too. I hate
Well,
to
they
say
have
like
to
it
for the
got
audience.
woke, but
Oh no!
it got more.
But
It got
it's-
more
but-
current day than it.
But again,
be,
I also
yeah.
think these shows teach you how to watch them, and I think that people who do have that kind of reaction, because I did see people like screen capping like Murray's actor like in that circle when he kind of has like a confused face with text that says like "Don't tell me this MF ain't a homophobe" or something, you know, where
Oh,
it's
right.
like
What if Murray
yeah,
was just like, I'm against this?
or like I saw somebody say at the end, like, well, you actually don't know how dark the ending is because Will going to a gay bar in New York in 1989 is actually at the height of the AIDS crisis, and statistically, he will probably die to that. But I just want to say to these people,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
man, it's like, what
Guys.
show, like, what are you watching? I guess, like,
What if they
like,
did
again,
a
these
postscript
shows-
like Will died of AIDS 5 years
Will,
later?
Will got sick. Nobody knows how or for what reason, but he just faded away. I mean, that's like truly horrible. And it's like,
Yeah.
what do you like these characters? I almost want to ask people when they watch these shows at the end and they have all this stuff to like tear it apart. It's like, did you not want this little kid to like be allowed to be himself? Like,
Right.
sure, it could be better, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. Do you like this character? Relax. What's it
Yeah.
matter?
Yeah, when I look
Yeah,
at
again, I
this
think-
emotional beat, I like because even his brother Jonathan, when he was crying in the car in season 3 or 4, like he looks in the rearview mirror and he's like, he kind of
Yes.
already know. He already knows. Like he's already known. He was just waiting for him to be ready to tell him. You know?
100%. And that's
And I
what
like
that
those
plays
moments.
out in that
Well, it's-
scene. The glances, the editing. It's so well done. I thought. I
It's
don't
actually
know.
so wild going back to season 1 too, because it was there from the beginning where you have like Joyce talking about her ex-husband. Oh, he would call Will like queer and stuff and say
That's
he's
right.
too like soft. And it's like, so they were
Yes.
it was kind of there from the beginning, like this kid's going to be gay. So I do appreciate that like they had that from the beginning in season 1.
No.
But yeah,
Right.
again, I think Billy, Max's
Mm.
sister or Max's brother, right? It's the last time someone was like actually prejudiced on this show, but now
Yeah,
all
was an
there's
outright
only good
villain.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Conversely, I want to mention on the gayness of it all is Robin. Like she says, she's only told like Steve, her girlfriend,
Right.
and Will. Like she hasn't even had the
You
group
couldn't be,
sit
like,
down. She's
out-
still very kind of
No.
Yeah.
closeted.
You really
to a
couldn't be
degree.
out in the same way in the 80s in small town Indiana. Like they would have been harassed. They would have been, bad shit
Yeah.
probably could have gone down. So
Maya Hawke ends that scene wiping away a tear, saying, "And you didn't even need truth serum."
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because she.
I
Like,
do
that
love, yeah,
with
like
the truth serum.
Robin
Yeah.
as Will's gay Yoda. I do love that relationship in this season.
I
It's like-
watched that clip of the sorcerer where it cuts in with her quiet, monologue where she goes, "The power was in me." Like it's so the way that she says it is so good.
yeah.
Yeah. No. So
So
the scenes may be
Yeah.
anachronistic in how people react, but I like the sentimentality and the emotions in it. Like I fell for it. Yeah, I was getting misty, and Joyce, you're always going to be my boy. It's like, okay, great.
Oh
Right.
my god. Oh, I can't
I
watch
think,
Winona Ryder cry. That's too
Yeah.
much for me.
No.
I like the moment. Yeah, it strains the believability a little bit, and also I feel like I would have just had like you don't need every single character there. Like
Just
it
your
should have been
homies,
like
your
his
family.
friends,
Crazy.
the mom,
You don't need
brother,
Maury.
Hopper. You don't need Murray. You don't need Eleven's sister.
Collie doesn't
like,
need to be here.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just
But
hanging out. Oh, this kid I've never
But
talked to is gay.
I've
Okay.
but literally one of the highest upvoted posts now on the Stranger Things subreddit is somebody being like, fixed it. And it's he literally says, I fixed this with AI. And it's literally Finn Wolfhard comes in for the scene and goes, what's going on? And he says, you better hear this too. And then literally AI just changes the mouth and he goes, I don't
gay.
like girls. So they just make it so he says it there instead.
just in
And
that
it's
moment.
like that sucks, guys. Like that just
No,
like
yeah, bring
stop
in
saying
Mike
you're
and Dustin
fixing
and
it.
Lucas and
Yes.
Jonathan. Like, but you
Don't
don't need
be
every single
brats.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you.
But overall, it works for the most.
Yeah, and they're trying to do something with Will's character because Will, as a character, has been shit on so much over the past seasons.
Yes.
And there's like, we need to have him like reclaiming his power and his identity. And this season is really him being like, you know what? I do have like power. I do have good things about me. I'm not just like a puppet to Vecna and stuff.
It is absolutely wild for two showrunners of the most popular show in 10 years on the largest streaming service of all time. This totally singular thing that's not going to happen again because we're just going to get smaller and smaller, these networks, and it's going to be harder for these big shows to burst these bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
In their last season ever, they go, what if we rise up the least popular character and make a little sister who was never a character the two lead characters of our series? And you go like, that's crazy.
That's
that
crazy.
Is
Yeah.
a completely insane starting point. Why would you do that?
I can see what they're going for with Holly, even in the last scene where it's like, oh, Mike and his friends just finished a game. Now all the younger kids, Holly and her friends, are gonna come in. What's this? Dungeons and Dragons. And you get
We were kids. Oh boy.
I get what they're going for with these kids, but it's also like,
of course,
we don't give a shit about these kids. Like,
so
Mike
how
Wheeler
many lines does Hopper say out loud this season? They're like, well, trust us, we've got our own issue with David Hopper. Like he's got other things going on. We can't actually have him in scenes. There's moments where he's like, Joyce, we have to save Elle. And there's like, honestly, like if you kept the camera rolling for 2 more seconds, you'd have David Harbour like turning into like a monster on camera. Like he seems like he's seconds away from turning into Dr. Jekyll every moment, right?
Yeah. I think if you charted like how much screen time each character gets in this season, Holly would have more screen time than like
they've done
Lucas,
it on the Reddit already.
Mike
it's
easily.
Horrifying,
people are 11, like
tearing everybody apart with the percentage ratios. I think the whole season, like truly screen time wise, ends up having like 40% Holly when it's like broken down over a bar chart, and it's like 5% Max. Like it's like things like that. Honestly, like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Right. And for a show that already had so many characters, to add more important characters in your final season, like you don't understand, like Holly Wheeler, she's gonna have this big part.
It's all about.
It's always been about Holly.
To us, the story's always been about Holly.
I do. Yeah, and then the other thing with Will is he finally gets his season, but then after this speech, he kind of doesn't do much in the finale. Like he's kind of done after this speech. He really doesn't. Yes. Like his moment with Sorcerer and this speech.
He specifically says, and this is a huge plot hole people are pointing out, Mike. Earlier in the season, or in the part 2 season, I think like episode 6 or 5 or something. He says, when we go there, when we go into the Upside Down and we track down, whatever up to Vecna, I can't go with you because if I'm around him, I'd be too close for the hive mind and I would be like absorbed or whatever. And people are like, the end of the show is he's just there in the abyss too, controlling and using his powers, fighting Vecna. Like he specifically says in this moment, like he
Yeah.
cannot come with them. It makes no
Right.
fucking sense. So
Well, you don't understand, Colin. He made the tunnels. You know the tunnels?
He made the
Your
tunnels.
mom,
He dug
but
the
I'm
tunnels.
guilty. It was me who made the tunnels. Okay, well, it really wasn't. I mean, it really led to nothing. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
Bob died, but not because of the tunnels specifically. Like, there's a
And
lot
yeah.
of
I
other,
was I was
stuff
hacking into the vines and using them
But
to
it's like
dig
you
the
weren't
tunnels the
doing
whole
that.
time,
It's
every
like
time.
it's like if a hacker
Yeah.
like uses your graphics card to mine Bitcoin. Like you're not mining the Bitcoin. It's just using your
It was-
hardware.
my computer, Mike. It was
Mom, it was
me
my-
who did it.
Yeah. So whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially now the stakes are set. We have the plan. Worlds are colliding, and essentially all the kids are hooked up to the Vecna master base. It's happening, and so
Right.
now we got to climb that tower.
That's right. Well, we have 11, Kali, and Max are going to go inside Vecna's mind and take him out from inside of his world. And
That's
then
right.
as they do that, that'll stop the planets from getting closer. Meanwhile, there's a whole other squad that's going to go attack him in the abyss. And
And they have to go to the lab to put her in the big tank, so she has the most.
Oh yeah,
Energized
there's all
power.
this bullshit, Mike.
Yeah,
Eleven's
her,
gonna kill
Hopper.
herself.
Yeah, they
God
all
damn
go to the military
They
base.
almost ruin all this.
The
Yeah.
big confliction that Hopper has is like, oh, guess what? 11, she's about to kill herself. Oh, I can't allow that. She's my adopted daughter. She's more important.
I just
He's
don't
having
know about this Callie girl.
He's
Mhm.
having a Last of Us Joel moment where he's
Yeah.
like, I don't care if the entire world is destroyed. Like, I'm not losing my daughter.
Much worse
so he
played
essentially is
than
Joel from The Last
Dustin.
of Us. Yeah.
Like saying, "Not you too." Like it's so much more flimsy when
Right.
Hopper does it.
But it's
Absolutely.
interesting because they've built Hopper up like, oh, he's going to sacrifice himself at some point to save 11.
Absolutely.
But then actually it's the reverse where 11's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself to save everybody. And Hopper being like, no, like, I can't allow that to happen.
And she's like, "You got to let me make my own decisions," kind of thing. We get that speech eventually, a little bit later. But yeah, so one squad: Kylie, Hopper, maybe Murray, and 11. They're in the
Murray's there too. He's
base of
helping.
the Upside Down, and then it's like Steve, Joyce, Jonathan, Nancy, Dustin. They're climbing the tower,
Commandos.
commando style. Yep. They're
Commando
geared
style.
up.
They're going to attack the base in the abyss. And then this 11, she has to go in the big tank thing. I also want to complain about the outfits that they make 11 wear in this season.
Oh, it sucks.
are
The
just
whole
terrible.
season.
Yeah.
Well, the
Sucks.
one is
The
Josh
whole
Brolin
season
from
she's stuck
Goonies.
in this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's wearing like the
Yeah.
training gear in the first half, and then in the second
Yeah.
half she's wearing like this wetsuit because she's got to go in the tank. But it looks
Right.
so dumb. Like they
Specifically,
let
Mike's
all everyone
right
else,
with the bandana, the Goonies bandana, and the
Yeah,
sweats.
that's the first one.
all these other kids, they get to look cool as hell and put all this commando gear on and stuff, and she's got to wear this dumb jumpsuit to like go in the tank.
Looks like a
this
surfer.
wetsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And they couldn't make her look cool. I mean, obviously her best look, I'll say it again, was in season 2 when she was like punk 11.
So
back in
I we were watching. I was eating breakfast one day. It was like a Saturday or something with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and some like Stranger Things stuff had come up or whatever, and it had ended with and coming up on the Jimmy Fallon show to promote the final episode is 11. It's Millie Bobby Bon Jovi or whatever. And my mom turned to me and rolled her eyes, and I said, I like her. And I said it very defensively. And she said, why? And she said it very angrily. And it really hit me that like she is someone that like elicits very strong emotions for some reason. Why is that?
I don't know. I
Electric
think,
State. I don't know.
I mean, I said how I feel about her in part 1, where it's like she became a worse actor as she got older. Like, and again, going back to season 1, somehow she is a better actor in season 1. The less she has to talk, the better actor she is.
When
and when
she just
can
doesn't
be
know
like
how to be a human. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's good in season 1 because I mean it's probably not, but it's not that hard of a role to portray. But also like from that young age, like it is hard to get a talented kid actor. But then as she got older, it's like she lost her ability to act. And now in the final season, I'm like, they cut to her face and she's making an expression, and I just think, what expression is what emotion, is she attempting to express here? And I don't always know.
In the documentary, she says at one point, "Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 20 years. I'm 20 years younger than them. They're 40. I'm 20." She's talking about the Duffer Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Yet we get on like a house on fire." I'm thinking like,
What is that?
okay,
Is that a
one,
British slang?
what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
It then cuts to a scene of her doing the training montage, and it's the stunt performer who's doing it, and they're kind of watching, and they're deciding when they're going to cut in with reverse footage and put Millie in, and that she's going to finish up the stunt.
Mm-hmm.
And they put her on this slide thing, and she's going to figure it out. And she goes down, she does the stunt, and another person working with the Duffer Brothers goes like, she's making like a weird face. And the Duffer Brothers are like, "Oh, yeah. And they kind of like walk over to her, like looking down, and they're like, you just like look like you're mad." She's like, "Oh, really?" And they're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, I'll do it again." And they're like, "Okay." And they do it again. And she has such intense energy and stuff. You get the feeling that these guys cannot direct her for a moment. So
Yeah.
it seems like she's kind of just like taken over and control of her character.
Oh man.
Well, again, but I
gotta
think
see this
11
documentary.
It's like, it's fascinating.
It is.
Wait
It
till
was
I
giving me
reveal what I'm
vibes
gonna reveal
of
here in a second. Yes.
the table read for like the last episode of Game of Thrones had those vibes where every actor was like trying to hide their like, "Oh, this sucks," like faces at the table read, and I feel like
Okay.
that's something similar.
Okay, here's what I'm going to reveal. This is the final thing then, because this gets us into the whole final episode here.
Yeah.
And you have to watch this documentary. It is
I'm
actually
100%.
homework now. And
Was
listeners,
my
you have
favorite
to do it
director
too.
Sean Levy in it?
Yes, he is. And he is interviewed frequently.
Great.
And he has the energy of a man who just did a mountain of cocaine. So God
Director
bless him.
Free
I can't, Jacob, can you imagine listening to him talk to Ryan Reynolds? It would fry your circuits.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think about this. Have you ever seen the clip? It kind of became a meme where he's talking about Taika Waititi, and he's like, Taika is riffing on a level that is freaking unbelievable. He takes an already funny script, and he's
Jacob,
riffing on a level that is
that is how
unbelievable.
he talks all the time. He's like, making movies is freaking unbelievable. Like, it's so funny
Yeah.
that you say that. That's exactly how he talks all the time. Okay, so here's what I want to reveal. The start of the documentary
Mhm.
is opening stuff of like them shooting like season 1, like everybody's kids, like, can you believe it? Oh my God, Stranger Things. Like, it's a quick montage of this. Then it's kind of a montage of the Duffer Brothers themselves as like 14-year-olds with cameras, like shooting home movie stuff. And like, you're going to chart this course that they're these incredible creators.
Mhm.
It then cuts to, and this is what the entire documentary is built around, them in a writer's room going, "Oh, okay. So, big reveal. We've started shooting the finale, the final season, and we don't have the last episode written yet.
Oh.
Right.
wow.
Okay,
Mm.
guys, what do we do?"
How do
And
we
it's
end
them in a
this?
circle going,
Oh my
I feel
God.
like we've got a lot of stuff set up here that I feel like we need to bring to an end. And they keep spiking the camera, looking into the camera, being like, and we just know that there's a lot of these shows that like fans love and love and love and love and love, but then they don't make the landing, and we don't want to be one of those shows. So
Right.
we've got to pull this off, which we're going to do. Okay. Huh. And then
Bring
it'll
us more
cut
cooking.
around to them shooting the first episodes, the second episodes, the cast coming back together. Wow,
Mhm.
Lucas, can you believe we're starting with the crawl? Yeah, I know it's not like you doing monologues, but like it's a nice, easy way in. Yeah, guys, it's good to see you. Everybody's been doing good. Yeah, it's incredible. Then the Duffer Brothers will be at the camera talking to some tech people, and they'll go, yeah, it's not like we don't know how it's going to end. It's just like, like I see all the threads, and it's just that we just got to write it still. But like, we're not worried about it or anything. It's
Right.
going to
Oh
be
my
okay.
gosh.
It's actually going to be okay.
Is this
And
George R. R. Martin
everybody
talking about
seems-
finishing his books?
Yeah.
Jacob, everyone seems so nervous the entire time. And
Oh,
people keep coming up to them being like, we can't wait. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And they just keep going like, we're going to nail it. We just
That's
ran
funny.
out of time. At one point, one of the Duffer brothers goes, it was just like this whole thing of like, you work a 9 to 5, you work 7 days a week. It's like back in the day, yeah, we'd have all this all written, but it's like now it's like, just like I have 2 kids, and the guys listening are like, like kind of like giving faces and nodding along. And one of the difference goes, like, do you guys have kids? The guy goes, yeah, I have my kids are like 40. He goes, yeah, but you remember you just get so busy, you can't like finish the stuff you're doing, right? And the guy goes, I mean, I don't know, I was working when they were young. And the one brother goes, yeah. I mean, just
incredible.
so nervous. So it just changes your whole perspective on the whole thing. Guys, they had no idea how to land this plane. It's incredible.
That sounds
Right.
incredible.
Well, I was saying like sounds exactly like George R. R. Martin with like finishing the Game of Thrones books, where he's like, and he saw the ending of the show, and he's like, well, can't do that. I know how I want it to end, but I'm just afraid if I put it out, the
What
fans
do I
aren't gonna like it.
do? What do I do? Yeah.
Um,
God, but can you imagine just making small talk coming up to people being like, man, it's just hard, huh? They're like, yeah, the thing you have to do is hard. And he's like, yeah, it's so hard though, is the thing.
yeah, I did see when I turned on Netflix and that popped up as like the first thing, and it played the little scene, and it was like, all right, guys, here we go. First table read for the final episode. And some of the actors like start saying like speech, and it cuts to one of the Duffer brothers like, oh, speech, huh? Well, I feel like we kind of wrote everything we wanted to into this final episode, so that's going to serve as like our speech. And then they just don't give a speech, and it's like very weird vibes. I was like, I don't know, man.
At one point, it cuts back to the writer's room, and one of the other writers is going, I just feel like if they make it to the abyss and they're fighting the Mind Flayer and they're fighting Vecna, like it doesn't make sense to have an empty planet. Like there's got to be Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats.
Demobats.
We got to
Mhm.
just like blast them out. And one of the Duffers goes, yeah, maybe. And he kind of like looks off, and the other writer goes, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of demoed out. And he goes, yeah, maybe. And he kind of just
No.
like,
Where
and it
were
just
the
seems like they
Demogorgons?
cannot make a choice.
Man.
Right. Well, that was a big
paralysis.
complaint is like, what happened to all of the Demogorgons in the big final fight? Like, what are they doing? They're just off screen somewhere?
I think one of the most disastrous things on the planet is them releasing this documentary. I think the Duffer Brothers should have, with the reception of the last episode and the insanity of Conformity Gate, have called Netflix and been like, if you release that, we will sue you. If you make us look like the biggest idiots on the planet. And they keep doing these interviews now where people are like, where were the Demogorgons? They're like, they were like off screen.
Yeah. Again, it reminds me of Game of Thrones, Benioff and Weiss, all the stuff that came out in the final season of that, where they're like, and this became a meme too online, where it's like, oh yeah, well, Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet who like showed up and like shot
Killed
one
her
of her
dragons.
dragons down. She's like, oh, she kind of forgot about them. It's like, no, I think you forgot about them when you were writing.
There are
It just reminds me a lot of that.
2 incredible scenarios could come from this. One, the Duffer Brothers are leaving Netflix. So Netflix is like, we're going to make you look so bad,
Oh,
for
sure.
future prospects. The second scenario is Conformity Gate is real. And this is all to like be the biggest swerve in entertainment history. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't
But if
think-
they did, that would be insane.
I saw people say that the documentary in the halfway through was going to fourth wall break into
Yeah.
the secret 9th episode. And I was like, you got
Here's
it.
why I knew that it wasn't real, because number one, it doesn't seem like they were decisive or smart enough to write it that way. And also,
That's all the
Netflix
work.
would be like marketing the shit out of it if there was a true secret episode that was going to be released. Like this is in like they wouldn't allow it to go on this long, and the marketing would be insane.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're setting her up to kill herself, and then like the bait and switch would be that she doesn't kill herself, but then is our rug pull that she kills herself? Because then I'm like, the other brother will
Yeah.
be like, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I actually think the way they did it was the best way, where it's like,
And can I
ambiguous.
honestly say,
Yeah.
I think what they come up with is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think the I believe scene is beautiful. I really do.
Yeah, and that fits in the way they like tied it back to D&D, and you have Mike giving this like great storytelling speech where he's like,
Yes.
and he realizes like, oh, they were using those sound blasters or whatever.
The sound blasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how could I have spoke to 11 in her mind if she couldn't use her mind powers? What if it was all an illusion?
I loved all of it. Let's
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the monster fight now, and then let's get into the last 45 minutes of a,
Yeah,
of a 2-hour episode.
The ending.
Again, the finale is 2 hours long. That's the length of a movie, not like a short movie.
208.
They also point out, of course, saying, and what you got to understand is what we're playing with is our episodes, each one, half of the budget of one of our episodes is the full budget of a movie. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
that
sure.
is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think it would like look a little better if that was true, but
That's
okay.
in my notes. There's a lot of volume, and I hope you like yellow expanses.
So much volume.
That I
Yeah.
did
So
not
much
like.
volume.
They did build like a lot of the sets for Vecna's little abyss room with the children stuck to the walls, which I didn't love. I don't love the tubes, but they were in season 1, so we got
It
to
was fine. Yeah.
tube it up, I guess.
They're kind
Gotta
of
tube it.
But so much volume in this, and I'm like, I can just feel it. I can just feel they're not in a place.
Right. But what about Vecna's little base, which is like a weird like hand spider thing, turns out that was the mind flayer, and it kind of
It is
legs all
his.
come down.
That
Yeah.
is his real body. This is
Mhm.
his planet?
It's his plane.
He's
It's
an
a
alien?
plane. The abyssal plane. It's D&D. It's planes of existence.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's their D&D metaphor for it.
So is it a
Mike,
planet?
that beamer went through the upside down
wormhole.
into space.
True. Well, the oxygen's breathable because Henry used to be human, so it has to be breathable for humans, so he can be there
Yeah.
if he invented it.
But once he
right?
got affected by the mind flayer, maybe he wouldn't have to breathe oxygen.
Maybe.
He's always
Spider
been there,
sister.
like that scene of 11 pushing him, right? That reveal at the end of season 4 where he's like thrown and becomes Vecna or whatever. You know, he's pushed through the children's
Right.
wall that they have. You know, that rainbow wall or whatever. He's
Yeah.
being sent to the abyss, or he's being sent to the upside down.
This is
Unclear.
the first time we've seen the abyss. There was always the upside down
Right,
to me.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, does it really matter? Oh, the twist is the upside down is in a different world. It's the bridge to another world, which is, I guess, very
Much less
similar
interesting.
to the upside down. Yeah.
It's just a
Right.
rocky bear. I mean, it's Tatooine, right?
It's
It's not as interesting
Carter,
looking as the upside
Man of
down.
Mars.
It is John
Right.
Carter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they have oxygen there. But the gang rolls up and they're like, okay, we're gonna take down this giant mind flayer beast.
And that is
While
D&D. Like, here's your
11 is
final
trying to finish
encounter.
off Vecna.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
11 is 1v1ing Vecna, which makes
Yeah.
sense. Like that's what it should be.
Yep.
when literally Dustin says we split up, we chip away at its hit points. I was like,
Yeah.
I fucking love this.
This
And they've
is
all
it.
got their different equipment or whatever. Nancy
Nerd.
cocks her gun and says, "I'll be the bait." She's the
Yeah.
most badass. I think that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, Nancy,
Yeah.
who was like, her arc used to be like she wanted to be a journalist, and she was
Yeah.
real smart.
That'll come
Yeah.
back.
You know
That'll
what? I
come
like
back,
shooting
Jacob.
things. Yeah.
Yes. When at the end, Robin's like, "I knew it. You became a Navy SEAL." I was like, "Yes, you are wasting your talents by doing anything else." But
Right.
we get the start of this confrontation. The mind flayer gets locked in this cavern. Nancy starts unloading on it. Everybody else has flares, balloons.
Molotovs.
They're all saying like for 11. Meanwhile, you've got your two melee users, Dustin and Steve, underneath with the pikes. They scream out for Eddie, start stabbing the shit out of this thing, right? Inside, we've got 11 appears before that, and she does this running thing, floats, opens up the mind flayer, goes inside it, lands inside in the cavern that was Vecna's lair, right, for their showdown. The music that has always been the fucking Stranger Things score is pumping, and now lyrics of people just going like la 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 like have like fucking started. Vecna's shooting his tentacles out. She's rolling. Mind blast, mind blast. Smoke goes everywhere. Rocks. I'm like, it's so anime. I am fucking jamming on this thing, dudes. I'm loving it.
Yeah, she does
Yeah,
a
I like
pocket
this part
sand.
because it's like,
She does a pocket. She
Right,
does that.
yeah, it's awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, this is what it should be. And
Will is
like,
trying
did you
to
like the
restrain
base
Vecna.
turning into like the Mind Flayer physical manifestation?
I liked the weird. I
Fighting a
mean, to
giant
me, it's this sucks because people don't like it. But to me, it was very much going back to the Stephen King's roots. This is it. This is what Pennywise's actual body looks like, right? The weird
Right.
spider creature, the compound eyes. I liked all of it. I thought it was
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
understand, like the Earth is like a giant turtle in outer space, which is like holding together
Yeah.
our reality, right?
Fair.
to your car.
That's right.
Yeah, I like this, and then I liked even when they're like, "Look, Henry," like they're doing the "come to the light side, Henry." Like you can still like redeem yourself, and he's like, "No, you don't understand. Like I was made for this shit." And like me and the Mind Flayer, we go way back, and like I am him, he is me, like all this stuff.
Did
Yeah.
you see the play?
Yeah.
No, I
No,
didn't.
only Max got tickets.
Well, slightly
eventually it ends
before
with-
this, well, 11 getting
Joyce
there, I
with an
just want to say,
axe.
because Callie does a
Yeah.
big sacrifice to help them get out from the guards so she can
Yeah.
do a
Oh,
big
that's
jump.
right.
That's true.
So there's
Callie's
that
Did
dead
whole
she
bit.
really die? But did
Yeah,
she
she
really
did.
die?
She did.
Or
She
was
was
it all
dead.
just an illusion?
It's over. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Every kid ends with it dead.
Right.
Will decides to come into the fight as well. He starts bending Vecna. They chip away more and more and more. The damage because of the hive mind is bouncing between the Mind Flayer and Vecna. And eventually 11 lifts him up, lifts his limbs off, drops him down on a spike and impales him. And he goes, "Oh!" And everybody comes inside because the Mind Flayer drops. And then, as Jacob said, we get this crazy, the Shining shot. I mean, it's a Dutch tilt angle where Winona Ryder walks up being like, "You thought you could mess with my kids?" And you're like,
Right.
"What? This
Well, first
is
it kinda-
so weird."
Yeah.
It does this like montage thing where it's kind of every character and then their memories of like all the bad shit that happened, and it was all due
Yes.
to Vecna, where it's like
Bob
Yeah.
dying.
Bob dying, maybe even Barb. Maybe they did show
Yeah,
Barb.
they
We
did show
see
Barb
the-
in the pool.
Floating, for sure. We see the floating Max and Lucas holding
Yeah.
her in the attic, screaming "Help!"
Mhm.
all the trauma that
Billy.
he's caused these people.
Billy.
Yeah. 11 disappearing originally, like in season 1, and like Mike being like, traumatized by that and everything. And, Eddie dying, Bob dying, like all that. And then, we know Joyce coming in with the axe, and he's kind of like, "Oh, I'm still alive." Chops his head off, right?
And he
I
says, and he spits up a bunch of blood, and he revealed on Jimmy Fallon's show that he was saying, "Stop, please," but got his head cut off.
I like that Joyce did get to kill him, even if the speech is kind of weird. But I also like that it took more than one swing. Like I like that it took a little bit of
Yeah.
Oh,
chopping.
she hacks away. Yeah. She
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
That
And
felt
then I
realistic.
assume one of them puts his head in a bag and they travel back through outer space.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we get all the kids back.
They
and
kill,
then,
they release all the kids, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then
And
so
then was the epilogue.
does the Upside Down all collapse now? Oh no, they're leaving. They're getting out of there. They have the truck,
a chain
right?
reaction.
Yeah, they're trying to get out of there. They get back to the Upside Down. They're in the truck. They fly through the gate.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
The
Everything's
military
great
has
now.
stops for
we
them.
did it.
We made
Oh.
it.
They popped our
We can
tires.
finally play that. We should play that album you said that we were going to play when we got out of this.
Oh, Prince?
Okay.
Purple Rain?
Artist formerly known as? I guess so.
Maybe he was still
That's
known
right.
as. No, he was formerly known at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
At that time, he was known as, baby.
Purple Rain?
So, then they're lined up against a wall to get their brains shot out, and Mike falls into this little mind dimension that I always love. I always love the pitch black with the wet splatter as you sort of like stomp around. That's really
void,
cool.
yeah.
To me.
Well, it's kind of like, 11's there with them, and then at one point he like looks around, where's 11? Hopper's like, where's 11? And then we see her standing in the gate, right? And as the Upside Down is all sort of collapsing in on itself, and you're right, Colin, that's when she talks to Mike in her mind. Is like, look, this is what I have to do. It's a never-ending cycle. As long as they know I'm out there, like, I have to end it and all that stuff. So,
Guy whose birth name is Prince is just wailing on his guitar at this point too. He's
yeah,
going
it goes from one
crazy.
Prince song to another, where it's like,
It does. It transitions.
yeah,
It's when
Which
doves
I wanna
cried at
talk
Purple
about.
Rain. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we're having a great time. Now is the sad time. Time to throw on Purple Rain, which is great. But I do think they went a little hard with the needle drops in this episode, where it's like,
Oh yeah.
Prince. Oh, now here's, the Pixies. Here's Fleetwood Mac, Landslide. Oh, end credits. Here's David Bowie's Heroes, which rewatching season 1, I was like, oh, they did use David Bowie's Heroes in the scene where they find Will's fake body in season 1. It's like a cover of Heroes.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, so that's a callback. But there's like a million needle drops in this episode. It's like every recognizable band in like the 80s is like, oh, do you remember this? But it
Yeah,
works.
Landslide's okay because Robin is on the radio.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So
And you have
Elle
Pixies,
essentially-
Here Comes Your Man.
Oh, sorry, the other menial drops. I thought we were
No,
talking.
no. Go ahead.
Well, she ends up doing the big sacrifice, collapses the Upside Down, ripped all those pregnant ladies still in the lab, but we destroy the Upside Down
guess.
dimension, the abyss, all that. The whole thing is shut down now. The portal becomes the brick of the collapsed building. It's all gone now.
Right.
And the military decides not to press any charges against anybody for killing soldiers, infiltrating military bases. They're like, fuck
Right.
it.
They killed soldiers. Yeah.
Can I ask one last stupid question that'll really show that I never fully comprehended this program that we've spoken about for 10 years
that
now?
you're the highest on. Yes.
That I love and that I adore. Does this mean now, because she has lost her connection to the Upside Down, that she no longer has powers? Is that how she has powers? No, right?
I would.
That's a great question.
Hope that's why.
I'm going to say no. No, she still has her power. She basically talked to Mike, right? And then she's standing in the gateway and she just kind of fades away, right? Jedi ghost style. And
so she talks to Mike
so
before she
could have all been
collapses the
illusions.
gate. So maybe she lost her powers. I don't know.
Every character screams L except
L,
Dustin screams
11.
11. Which you're like, don't call her that at the end.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
full government name.
Wait to dehumanize her.
Yeah.
L.
And again, Hopper's big arc is like, whatever happens, like, Elle cannot sacrifice herself because that is my adopted daughter. That is my reason for living. Like, if I lose her, then I have nothing in my life. But no. But then it cuts to 18 months later.
Right, and this is where, just quickly, it's like I said, the military does not press charges against anybody. They let people that know of extra dimensional life just run around free. Like, they would all be locked up.
Right.
But no.
Oh, that was a crazy earthquake we had in Hawkins back then.
That's so stupid. Now, Jacob, seeing that 18 months later was the first time, and I want to say 3 seasons, I breathed a sigh of relief that it finally felt like these kids were the appropriate age that they were portraying.
I was thinking, when it cuts to 18 months later, I was like, why do they all look older now? Like, they sort of
because they're it's the styling. I thought it was
like
incredible how the clothes, just absolutely transformed them into no longer looking like kids.
They somehow actually looked like they're 18 months older, and they looked their actual age.
They absolutely do. Finn Wolfhard as Mike looks normal at the end of this series.
Yeah,
as opposed to looking like
or
a goblin for like 6 seasons as he just gets taller and taller.
Lankier.
Yes. Right.
Oh,
truly, you see him in the epilogue, and he's got like a nice side.
He's normal.
Cut. Yeah. Yes. They all look like they're graduating high school finally, even though they're all like in their early 20s now. But at least it makes a little more sense. And then you have
close. We're getting close.
And you have the older kids, the Steve, Nancy, Jonathan age kids that are all like, yes, we're wearing our 80s suits now, as you can see.
We're adults.
We're adults.
Mm-hmm.
And in the adults, 80s means a suit as large as a house.
Big
Yeah.
shoulder pads. Yep.
But they had
They
that
weren't
great
called power
scene where the
suits for
four of
nothing.
them with Robin, they meet up on the radio.
And then, so here's the second scene after the coming out where I am just bawling my eyes out.
Mhm.
This scene where these four are like, we're going to stay close together. I am just crying.
Because they're all going to
Yeah.
different colleges, pursuing different lives. They're like, yeah, we're all going to get back together in Hawkins like once a month. And
Excuse me. One of them's not. One of them, my main man, Steve, is not
he's
going to
still living in
college.
Hawkins.
He's
Yeah.
fucking working a job. He works at Hawkins.
baseball coach.
He's the baseball coach at school. We
Working with
know
kids,
from
that's all he wanted.
his whole history that he's amazing with kids. The baseball bat is his iconic injury,
Mhm.
right? So here he is. He's teaching kids baseball. He's always had the basketball record at Hawkins and all these sports things. And then
That's
it
right.
cuts to, as he's clapping and, spanking a kid on the ass, it cuts to dipshit Derek as the catcher. And it just shows that he's going to continue mentoring these fucking lives. And when he's
Yeah.
talking to the other kids, they're like, did you know he's the health teacher now? That's what a life he's gonna have now. I was so happy with that ending because all these people who are like, Steve needs to be the next sheriff, Steve needs to, die or whatever. This is the perfect ending.
It's the perfect ending for his character, and he's like the most organic character in the show, where it's like starts as the sort of bully character, the popular kid that Nancy starts dating, has such a huge character growth throughout the season where he's like realizes that he's like good with working with kids. The coach job is perfect for him. He wants to have like 6 little nuggets or whatever they said.
That's
like,
right.
He's got 12.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
is this girl the one? Maybe it's time to start having some kids. Is what they say. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
If that was it, like if it was over right there, I'd be like, oh, perfect ending. The fact that they tie him in to Dustin's ending after that, where he's like, and of course you'll still hang out with your big brother.
go on
I
a
was
road
like,
trip.
again, whoa.
Yeah.
I love that. But the four of those kids meeting, it's also like Robin and Jonathan. Did you guys like hang out a lot? Like, I don't
Did you
remember
ever know
guys.
each other? And making Jonathan's whole thing that he's gonna be like a failed New York filmmaker, I was like, this is
making
good.
A cannibal
Yes.
capitalist, right?
It's called the
It's
consumer.
anti-capitalist satire.
He becomes David Lynch. Like he was a weirdo who took pictures of kids.
Right.
He was the
I'm gonna
only
make my
one who was in
Eraserhead
Twin
now.
Peaks in season 1, and now he's like that weird loser. Yeah.
Yeah.
He smokes like a chimney. Like it's so he's so clearly just David Lynch.
Yeah, of
Yep.
course. That's funny. And what Robin is going to Emerson or Smith, and Nancy was going to Emerson.
She's
but
like,
then
there's
she
a
dropped
ton
out
of women
Emerson.
here. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go to a gay school. And yeah, Nancy's like, actually, I'm not going back to school. I'm a
I got
cub
an
reporter.
Yeah.
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 She's gonna become a
That's
war
good. And
reporter.
Well, what
The
if we all
graduation
met up
episode.
at my uncle's New Jersey Montauk beach house and solved mysteries together? Yeah, we'll do it once a month.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And Montauk was the original name of the show when they were pitching it, like early drafts, right?
Well, in Montauk is where so Hopper and Joyce, they go on that date, and then Hopper's like, you know what? I could take the new sheriff job at Montauk opened up. We could move there. I get a salary increase. We could leave Hawkins behind. And so that's when all that happens. But first I want to talk about, so first of all, the first scene is Mike and Hopper sitting on a park bench, have a
Right.
nice talk about 11, and Mike doesn't want to walk at graduation. It's about to be graduation, all the other kids are there and stuff, and he's just sitting on this bench, and Hopper kind of gives him this talking to about like having to move on. And I like this too because Hopper's whole thing was like he was going to be so devastated by Elle leaving. So then for him to be like, you know what, it's okay, like you got to go live your life and stuff. Like that was a nice moment.
To get out of this. He proposes to Winona Ryder. A lot of fans have pointed out it's the exact same ring Jonathan got. So either Murray is buying fake rings, or he's just
You know what? I
getting,
don't need this anymore.
the cheapest rings possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you recall, Jonathan threw it in the goo, so there's no way it could be the same one.
Yeah,
It's just
true.
a different ring.
True.
Murray's
Oh,
just
that's funny.
supplying these cheap engagement rings.
Or fake. They could truly just
Yeah.
be fake.
Right.
Hopper, I got you,
Um,
buddy. Don't worry about it.
We never see Murray again. We didn't talk about
We
the moment
don't-
where he
well-
shoots down the helicopter. Remember that?
Oh yeah, he
Right.
shoots on a helicopter.
Murray's
And
there.
should be-
Isn't
he's
Murray
the
there,
only
like,
one who
in
goes
the
to jail.
graduation audience, and
I
it's
think
like
he's in
No
the
way.
Murray's
Is he
there
in
for
the
some reason.
graduation scene? No
I think
to watch
fucking
so.
all
way.
these kids graduate that he's
No
friends with, I
fucking
guess.
way.
Maybe he's
I
not.
refuse that.
I think he is.
But
He
they're all-
really shuts up after Will comes out. It really adds credence to the theory. He's like, you
He
know
was
what?
against
I
it.
gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
get out of here.
But all the kids are getting ready to graduate. They're putting on their gowns and stuff. You see them in the future. Max and Lucas are still together.
Max
Dustin
missed
is
2 years, but
valedictorian.
she
They-
caught up.
Yeah.
She graduates with them somehow.
Yeah.
They before when Max was being hunted by Vecna, when they had to have the completely silent scene where they were hanging out and Luke was bodyguarding her, they communicated through note cards. What if we went on a date in the future? Where would we go on a date? How about a movie someday? The last shot we see is them at the movies, cuddled up, watching a movie.
They
Great.
love it.
Yeah.
Dustin is valedictorian.
He gives an awesome fucking speech.
Hellfire
Yes, he
shirt.
gives the best
Yep.
speech where he's like, "Fuck
We
this
get to see his
shit,
mom.
Yeah,
fuck
she
the
gets really hype
man."
about it.
Yeah, Hellfire Club forever. Rips off his gown and reveals the Hellfire Club shirt. Everyone's going
Hits him
crazy.
with the Eddie Munson.
Well,
two
you
birds.
guys-
principal.
You guys will notice though, what it says is Hellfire lives is what his shirt says, obviously giving homage to Eddie. Now, when he pulls his shirt open and it kind of closes, it says LEL lives.
Oh, ooh, well, there we go.
Ooh.
Can
Is that
and
true?
there's never been a gray shirt for Hellfire, so it might be a fake dimension we're in. They're always white.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, and
that's
also
great.
there's the scene where Will and Mike kiss. You guys watch that scene too, right? The special if you watch
Yeah.
it in reverse
Yep.
while you're rewinding the scenes where they kiss.
You have to watch until the end of all the international subtitleists and voice actors, and then it pops up as the final scene.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to select it. It gives you the choice.
Oh,
But after graduation, they're all back in Mike's basement where it all began, playing
Mhm.
D&D again. Max is there too. They're finishing up a campaign, and
And this is where we're getting the stories. Max,
Yes.
Lucas, you guys will hook up. Dustin, you'll go to college. You'll keep
well, first
studying.
like Mike's like, everyone lived happily ever after, basically, and then Max is like, "What? That's a bullshit ending. Like, what are you talking
That's
about?"
it. I thought you
That's
were
tough.
some great
He's
storyteller.
like, "Well, let me bust out this great little
Hmm.
speech," and then he's telling everyone their future. Yeah, we see Will in college, I guess, going to a bar and meeting a guy or something.
Mhm.
So that's good for him.
Dustin,
Um,
you'll keep studying and be real smart, but you'll have time for your friends. And that's where we
That's
see
right.
Steve picking him up from their school library or whatever, blah, blah. He probably goes to MIT or something.
Yeah.
Then,
But
and
what
then
about you, Mike?
Will? Well, Will's is,
Will.
real quick. Will's is Will. You'll go the furthest than all of us. You'll travel abroad and live a new, exciting life, which will be scary, but you will find yourself and become who you really are. And it's obvious that with Jonathan going to New York and to study at NYU, and with Hopper saying if we moved to the city, we'd be closer to the boys, that Will is also studying in New York, maybe just living there, maybe, who knows doing what, but is at a New York gay bar.
Right. Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, what about you, Mike? How does your story?" And I'm a storyteller.
Just a poor storyteller. I
He becomes a
guess.
Stephen King. I'm gonna click like a
Yeah.
I pick up a pseudonym, Mike King. You could say.
So yeah, essentially he becomes a writer and he starts writing novels or whatever,
Yes.
fiction.
And it's so dumb how literally the final thing is he pulls out a piece of paper that says "Odd Things" by Mike
Oh.
Wheeler, and we're
Yeah, he
like,
closes the book. Odd
I
things.
get it. Stranger
Yeah.
Things. No, odd stuff.
Yeah.
Odd stuff.
Odd. My
Stories from
masterpiece
the upside
series.
down.
Odd stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the
Um,
sideways. We gotta go to the sideways. Click, 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 click.
But they had this great thing. So they're finishing the campaign. And it's like, oh, we must call upon the mage that we met earlier that can vanquish whatever foe they're fighting, right?
She said she
And-
would appear no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was the as we established, there's the stone of deflection or whatever that was, so you can't use magic. So how did she use her magic if you can't use magic?
Mm.
Something to think about.
The mage's true story.
Well, what he posits then is that Callie, while mortally wounded, used the last of her illusion ability. Elle was close away from the non-magic field. She used an illusion to put Elle there, and Elle was able to close the upside down and talk to Mike, escape, and somehow maybe she's living happily ever after near some waterfalls. That's kind of his storyteller version.
Yes. Well, and
Or did
Mike's
it really
like, I'm going
happen?
to take you somewhere where there's 3 waterfalls, and that's where we'll go after this, and we'll just get away.
That was a kid's dream, child's
Mhm.
dream.
Yeah.
You don't get to write the ending.
So essentially, yeah, and then we see 11, but it's like ambiguous where it's like, and I choose to believe that she's still out there.
Mike.
And so it's like, yeah, you can think of whatever you want. And I think obviously, like, I believe that she is still alive, but she had to disappear completely so the government isn't going to track her down and stuff. But will she ever be able to contact Mike again? Who knows?
Who knows?
And every single one of our main characters goes around and says, I believe, while crying, and it's very
Yes.
cathartic.
I believe. Let me put my little binder away. And so, yeah, they all are getting up to leave. And then Holly and her little friends run in. Ooh, is this Dungeons and Dragons? I'm going to play. I know how
I've
to do
heard of
that.
this. I'm
You should've
dipshit
been
Derek.
dead an hour ago, yeah.
Yeah, Derek, did you fart? It smells in here.
Yeah.
And then Mike just looking on, nodding like, yes, this generation will carry on the torch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
In the
it.
documentary, the camera guy starts crying as they're filming this scene.
Really?
Yeah.
The Netflix exec
amazing.
slipped him
I
$100.
mean, I'm sure it is a hard thing to work on, man. You know,
Yeah.
Jesus, it's so much of your life.
It is a
Now I
good
need to find a
bookend
new
with the
gig.
D&D. Of course, they needed to tie it back into the D&D. In the first scene, it starts with the core 4 playing D&D in the basement. And
You
that's how
said
it all
that
wraps
thing last episode about, have you heard this theory about how it's going to end up being all a D&D campaign?
Oh, yeah.
And we said, no, that's crazy.
The
And
dumbest
what you
thing
said,
ever.
Jacob, was, but to your point, what you said was, it all comes from this quote where the Duffer Brothers say, we keep thinking about how the most powerful image for our series is all those kids around that table. And they
Mhm.
say in this documentary how when they started out as filmmakers, they wanted to be directors. They never considered writing at all. They just wanted to shoot stuff. What they eventually found was you had to write stuff, otherwise they wouldn't let you shoot stuff. So they started working on stuff for them. The first thing they ever sat down and did was, what if we wrote something about kids playing Dungeons and Dragons around a table? And they wrote 5 pages, and they were like, man, that came out so easy. And it is this, persistent image for this thing. I found it to be incredibly powerful and satisfying. I found 11's ending with this ... mystery and not having a clear-cut resolution to be very fascinating and very sufficient. I don't know what to say
Yeah.
beyond that. I just couldn't
I think it
imagine
was-
it going any other way.
I agree. It was the best way to do it. It's better than saying she definitively died or she definitively didn't die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave it up to
We
you.
leave it up to the viewer. And again, I think more things should be left up to the audience, and you don't have to explain every little mystery within your show.
Jacob,
Yeah.
why is that top spinning behind you, by the way? And is it going to fall down?
We are going to cut to black right before it's going to wobble a little bit.
I'm really nervous that it's not going to fall, though. If you could just prove
Yeah.
that we're not in a dream.
Yeah, we
The,
might be in a dream.
The proof of what you guys are saying is the Ridley Scott going back to Blade Runner and like ruining the ambiguity. It's like don't do that.
Oh yeah,
It makes it much worse.
right.
And I do like the illusion ending,
Is
especially with
Decker
all that sister. Like you helped your sister one more time to escape. That's
Right.
way better
It's a
ending
nice
for Callie.
payoff for Callie.
Yeah.
But again, we're
Yeah.
supposed to believe she was mortally injured the whole time when they were like fighting the mind flayer and everything in the abyss, and then she held on just long enough to do that.
Let me just
absolute-
really take a deep breath here. I'm
very
doing good.
slowly bleeding out from like a
Oh,
bullet
boy.
wound.
Well, she was in
Yeah.
like a hospital. She could get some gauze, maybe buy herself some time, crawl over. Like, all
Let me
right,
just wrap
give me a
this
minute.
up real quick.
Find some morphine
Okay, my
real
story
quick.
was always going to end here.
Fish that
Yeah.
bullet out. Yeah, my story. What are you talking about? Wow.
Yeah, but that's
That
Stranger
was it.
Things. The right
Yeah.
side up.
Stranger Things.
So
Wow.
my only thing is like again the military just being like, well, we'll see you later. You know about aliens essentially. We'll just let you go back to school
It
and
makes no
graduate.
sense.
That doesn't make
It's
sense.
there's
What can you do though?
They made him sign an NDA and be like, you can't
the
talk about any of this shit.
the only
Yeah.
ending is that Linda Hamilton literally lines them all up and just blows everyone's brains out. Like there's
Damn.
no universe where anyone would ever allow
Nancy
this
is
to
in
get
jail
out,
for
so.
the murder of several U.S. troops. You know, like if we're doing that,
Right.
But
Hopper's in solitary confinement.
They have this
Yeah.
quote now that they've said, the Duffer Brothers, where they're like, well, the thing about Eddie's story you have to realize is a tragedy is that he was always going to end up bad because even if he hadn't been killed, he would have gone to jail, for his crimes or whatever. It's like, well, what did it? They thought Eddie killed someone. Eddie didn't even do anything. Nancy murdered people.
yeah, and
Right.
she's got off scot-free. But that's the
To be
other
fair,
thing.
the army was trying to kill them too.
Well, yeah, but like if I go on a secret military base, like top secret, like I will be persecuted to the fullest
Yeah.
extent of the law at some point. But
You
that's
don't
nitpicky.
They
understand.
were-
We went up there and saved the world. The shield
Yeah.
generator wasn't really a shield generator. And then we fought Vecna and his secret body. Like, seriously, like the government would be putting on a silencer as this
Yeah,
little
uh-huh.
girl was like
Very
explaining
compelling.
this stuff. Be like, you got it. Yeah.
We
uh-huh.
deny that this ever happened. But anyway, I did have a note too that Eddie, I wanted to see like Eddie's name get cleared. I wanted to see like the parents of Chrissy
kinda Dustin
and maybe
getting
his
the speech,
uncle
I
at the
guess.
grave putting some flowers like, okay, Eddie's all right. I really wanted that for Dustin
Yeah.
to have his name cleared. But overall, pretty decent, for what it
Yeah.
had to be. Yeah.
But should we
Let's do it.
head over to final thoughts
Let's do it.
and wrap it all up on Stranger Things?
Mm-hmm.
We're back. We have closed our collapsible wormhole, known as the Upside Down, because we're done talking Stranger Things Season 5, Part 2, plus the series finale. The series, not the season. The series. How
series.
rarely do we ever get to talk series finales on this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Cool.
potential.
We talked about how this might be the only thing Gen Z has.
And we were trying to figure out at one point, is this Gen Z Star Wars? Like, is this their thing? But I think Jacob's right. It's a little bit more Gen Z Game of Thrones. Somehow Danny forgot about the Iron Fleet in some areas. But emotionally, it serves the characters as well as I guess you could, given that they were like not having any idea what they were doing.
Yeah. And I think it's it's a cultural phenomenon in the same way Game of Thrones was, where it's like, how often does a show come around where it just captures the zeitgeist? Everybody's watching it, everybody's talking about it, and it goes on for like a decade. We had Game of Thrones that started in like 2011, then this started in like 2015 or 2016. There isn't really a show like that now. And I don't think, there's been something like that, like since Stranger Things, it's really captured the same amount of the zeitgeist.
Mhm.
I work with a 21-year-old. I asked her, do you watch Stranger Things? I'm very interested if people your age do watch Stranger Things. And she said, I watched the first season and then I never watched it again. Now, she would have been 11 years old when that aired.
That seems like a lot of people say, like, oh yeah, I caught the first season, never continued after that. But some people did watch, were super into it.
You must have.
Yeah. But any show, like, no shows that come around have that same kind of audience where it's like, oh, everybody's watching so and so and everyone's talking about it. Like, there's shows that you've never heard of that middle America is watching that we can't even comprehend. There's Landman out there. People are watching Landman.
One of the other like biggest Netflix shows ever was, what was that, like sort of like European kind of Game of Thrones thing you watched, Jacob?
Hmm.
You remember it was the kind of like the nomadic tribey guy or the Gaelic.
Oh, like The
do you
Last
remember?
Kingdom.
The Last
Oh,
Kingdom.
Last
Like
Kingdom.
Yeah, The
stuff
Last
like that, where
Kingdom.
it's like, I don't know what that is, but that's huge for Netflix. But you don't
Yeah.
see them put as much energy into it, which makes me think that Stranger Things really was the top of the pyramid, where
Right.
all
I just don't think there's many
viewership
shows now
converged.
that hit every demographic, kind of like Stranger Things
Yeah.
did, where it's like people
Demogorgon.
alive in the 80s can appreciate that nostalgia. Young people can appreciate it. Where it's like things like Succession came and went. It's like Succession, people, that live in New York or LA love that show. A certain audience loves that show, but it's not capturing the zeitgeist. Something like Andor, everyone's talking about Andor for like a minute, but like people aren't, nothing is capturing the zeitgeist. There's been a million Star Wars shows, most of them didn't hit. What is there? I guess, Last of Us, stuff like that. But even that is like, I don't think that many people are watching it. The White Lotus, like, I don't know. Like, we need a new cultural thing to come in and be like, take over that space.
Well, the problem
Now
is
that Stranger Things is over.
it's really hard with the disparate streaming services and stuff. Like this came out 10 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe. Paramount Plus and HBO Max like really hadn't been as established. They've kind of grown over that time. So now there's so much competition. There's no, again, we have no monoculture like pop culture where in the 80s you went to see the Star Wars, you went to see the one big movie, but we're kind of lost that. So it's hard to find one thing.
There's
will ever be as big as
things
this.
where like Stranger Things has enough power, and it is a Netflix thing because you think of like the Wednesday with not even Goo Goo Muck being a big thing, but the Lady Gaga song being a big thing. Do you remember that?
Right, they just
'cause
put
it
a
was
different
tied
song over it
to-
on TikTok.
Just because it was tied to a TikTok of a Netflix property. Stranger Things is so big that scenes of it are all being set to a Joe Keery song, who of course plays Steve in the show.
Oh, yeah.
This end of the beginning, this huge song that he has.
I do like that song.
Because those clips circulate, he now has the #1 streaming song on Spotify above Taylor Swift. Again,
That's
that
fascinating.
only
And that song
seems
was from his
possible.
album from like 2023. Like he released a whole nother album since then. That's on his
But
second to last album, which is
the
crazy.
weird thing is, this new album he's got coming out, Jacob, the Crux Deluxe, is a remastering of that album. So a lot of those songs are getting pushed now. But it's all tight. I mean, it's like you look at who put the ball under the cup that we're all trying to follow. It's like, what feeds the snake first? You know what I mean? It's like, is that because of this? Is that all catching on Spotify and tying together because Stranger Things is big at the moment? Then you ask yourself, like, why can't Joe Keery have a movie star career? Why can't any of these people kind of have it? Are they going to be stuck in the gravity of this thing? Like, there's just so much to think about and consider that this world is not over and dead yet. We talked again. There's
Spin-off
weird
happening.
animated spin-offs. There's going to be
live
some
action
sort of
spin-off.
actual spin-off, I'm sure. So who fucking knows,
It's
right?
Yeah, they're gonna explain more of the Upside Down and the lore behind that. That's great.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But I think
Maybe.
the important thing to note is that you cannot predict. No one can predict, including Netflix, HBO, any streaming service, what will become a viral phenomenon to the same level. Where it's like Stranger Things, the first season came out not to a huge amount of fanfare, but it just captured the zeitgeist. And I think part of it is it's not based on anything. Obviously, it has influences, obviously, whereas its influence on its sleeve, but it's not directly tied to a previous IP in the way that a Star Wars or a Game of Thrones or any of these IP would be. It's a totally new IP that now that you can do a million spin-offs of. But, every streaming service has tried to copy this kind of success, the Game of Thrones kind of success. We had Amazon Rings of Power. We had all these different things where it's like you can't manufacture that kind of viral phenomenon. It just has to have a lot of the right things going off at the right moment. And in 2016, 2015, whenever the first season came out, that's what everybody needed at that time. And it just hit like a truck, and everyone was like, I'm in. And then diminishing returns over the next couple seasons. Season 4, a little bit of a bounce back. Everyone kind of agrees that's the second best season after season 1. And then, wait 2 years, and then you get season 5. And it's a little bit of a letdown for me personally, but it's not as bad as it could have been. So that's what I just keep saying. Like, it was fine. Like, there were things I liked about it. There's things I didn't like about it. I don't know that I could have written a better ending. But at least it wasn't a total catastrophe like something like Game of Thrones, where everyone sort of agreed right after it happened, like, well, that sucked. Like, that's a real bummer that it ended that way. This is more like yeah, this is like pretty much what we expected, and it sort of tied all the loose ends together like it needed to, but left things open. So ultimately
But is
successful.
it possible to make everyone happy, Jacob? Because you do have fans who consider this crashing and burning.
Yes, I really want to know what those fans expected from the finale. It seems like they had a particular problem with sort of the epilogue of the finale, and I just don't know what they expected.
It's
And of
all
course,
gonna be corrected when we
yeah,
cover our next episode.
this is sort of a
Coming
recent
Conformity
soon.
game.
phenomenon that I think started with the Snyder Cut again. It started with the Snyder Cut. It started with Game of Thrones ending, and immediately an internet petition coming out saying, rewrite the last season with better writing, and just fans demanding, like,
More
well,
money.
yeah, if it's not what I expected, then obviously they need to redo it. And obviously there's a secret good ending. If they would just release that, all my
Mm-hmm.
problems would be solved. But I feel like people forgot, like, you can't, like, you just have to accept it for what it is. Like, it's never going to make every fan in the world happy.
There,
So, yeah.
there is no human being alive who can look at something from every angle and not miss one angle. And it's so easy for somebody who's just looking at the outside to be like, you didn't resolve XYZ? That's so crazy. When instead it's like, look at what the Duffer Brothers got. They got as many episodes as they wanted that they've got every season. They had the lengths of those episodes doubled in some instances if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
They had
Yeah.
more budget than most mainstream movies have per episode. It seems like every actor they wanted to come back, they got.
Mm-hmm.
So to have these feelings that are like, you fucked it up and you need to redo that. I guess I wonder, what would you hope the results would be that they didn't have control of this time, outside of
Right.
your influence? And your influence is so important to the success
do
of
you
this
want it?
show that you had nothing to do with.
Yeah, like we
But again,
have
I
not
think
had
this
to write
all
a finale
started.
before, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all started with the
You've
Snyder
never
Cut.
written an episode of Stranger Things. More
No.
importantly,
The Snyder Cut changed everything, and it was the Snyder Cut, and it was criticism of the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy, where all of a sudden fans were like, well, if I don't like something, I can just complain about it online until they make it good again. And there's actually secretly a good cut. We just haven't seen that because they're holding it
But-
back from us.
but the one lesson to take away from the Snyder Cut is like, he was fired. It was taken away
Yes,
from
it was
Mhm.
reworked
And
by Joss
changed.
Whedon.
So to be like, we'll clamor for his thing, yes, because he had a thing. DB Weiss and Benioff or whatever, they have no other, they care
Right.
no lick for this.
They have kids.
Yeah.
They're
But I just think the Snyder Cut maybe have been justified in that. But it was like, now everything, they expect everything to have a Snyder Cut. Like, there's secretly a bunch of footage they shot and just didn't use it. If they just edited that into it, it would be so much better. It's like, I don't think that's
What are you
true.
talking about? What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
The exception that proves
it'll
rule
have-
is Sonic the Hedgehog, but like I said, that's
Well,
the
but
exception.
I again, I think that was
We
like
fixed it.
fans
Yeah.
complaining so much that they fixed the character's design. They shouldn't have done that. They should have released the original
Ugly
character.
Sonic?
Release ugly Sonic cut.
All right.
Give
Also,
the
that
fans
is-
nothing. They deserve nothing.
That is one thing you can point at
They're
to
entitled.
fix. It's not somebody saying re-edit all of the Sonic movie. It is being
Rewrite
like,
them.
you fucked up Sonic. Fix
Yeah.
Sonic. Like, you can point at one thing in Stranger Things and be like, fix it. You can't just be like, redo it. That
Right.
is not helpful.
Give me 2
I
more
just
hours.
I think fans now have this sort of entitled sense where they're like, well, I didn't like how that ended, so you need to change it so that I like it more. And it's like,
So
you don't have to
crazy.
like it. It's like, if you don't like it, someone else will. So it's like, not just
Yeah.
never going to please everyone. So what do you want?
Well, it's,
I'm pleased.
I'll
I
wrap
believe.
this up. Yeah, I'm more or less pleased. I believe, yeah, maybe everyone having access to throw their opinions on everything at all times is not the best thing for society. But my takeaway, the show never got higher of a high than running up that hill. They charted Kate Bush. I don't think the season ever got to that height, but it had some good moments, and it was more or less serviceable. And my last thing for me personally, just too little too late. Like, kind of ran out of interest. in all of it, but I think they did a decent
Hey,
job.
That's the
wrapping
thing
it
is like season 4. If that was the last season, maybe it would have been gone out
no
on a higher
Abyss,
high.
just the Upside Down. Ended at 4. That's fine by me.
Yes. Mike, I like that in that I'll mirror what you said and say this last season never even hit 50% of like my favorite moments, but that doesn't mean any of it was bad. Like it's still
Yeah.
not a failing grade to me.
Like I like Billy
Yeah,
a
again,
lot
I think
more
my main
than
problem
Mr.
is
What's
just
It.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
But and you could say that about most of the previous seasons, but like there's so much filler in it where there's just so much exposition of like this character explaining this to another character, and again, so many plans being made, and like, oh, we got to do this and that. And it's like it's a little overkill for me. So I think that it didn't need to be so long in certain instances. But ultimately it did wrap up in a satisfying way. And like I was saying, I was kind of complaining about the number of needle drops in the final episode, but I'll tell you, when that Heroes hits in the credits, David Bowie Heroes, that's a great moment because that's just a great song. And then you get those like drawn portraits of the different characters and everything. Like I thought that was really well
I
done.
loved that. I loved it.
Yeah, and it's no running up the hill, but it still hits pretty hard. And just that they were able to wrap it up in a way that I didn't hate. Like I think it was a success ultimately. So good job, Duffer Brothers. You
Will
did
you
it.
call them and tell them that they could use that right now?
Look,
You guys
don't
did
listen
all
to your
right.
terminally online fans that are complaining about. There's also the whole Team Byler, which we didn't even talk about that much, which is the like, oh, Will and Mike should have ended up together. Why? Like Mike never showed any kind of like romantic interest in Will. That doesn't make sense. Like you can't just convince someone to go against their like sexuality. But it's the same people that think Taylor Swift is secretly gay and she's just been dating Travis Kelce to throw everyone off the scent.
She is.
That's her
Team
beard.
Gaylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a significant like online fandom called the Gaylors that think Taylor Swift is secretly going to come out at some point, and both her and Travis Kelce are gay, and they're using each other as beards.
It's going to happen the
They
same
are.
day as the conformity episode.
That's right.
I think which is the Super Bowl, we should say.
That's when we're going to get them both. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna.
That's when
come out
both
at
events
halftime
will
of the Super
happen.
Bowl.
Yes. Taylor
Vecna's gonna
Swift
step
will
out
announce
onto
that
the
she's gay
field.
and that the secret episode of Stranger Things has been released.
That would be insane. Like if they did like halftime Super Bowl commercial, Netflix drops a teaser for the secret 9th episode. You thought this was over? And it's Vecna, and he comes out and he's like, "I'm still alive, bitches." People would lose their mind
if they do that, but it's not happening.
Again,
that's Stranger Things.
It's Morbin time.
And then he comes out and he says, "It's Morbin time."
All right, let's leave the Upside Down behind as we're moving out of it. And Jacob, tell us what's coming up next week.
Yeah, next week. Well, we have a big movie that we talked about last year called 28 Years Later. Came out. We all loved it. 3 rave reviews from us. And guess what? Now we have the next movie. Yeah.
Are we taking a trip somewhere special, Jacob?
We might be, yeah. We might be going to a quarantined island of England, but we're talking the new film, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Yeah.
I was going to say we're taking a trip to the Bone Temple.
Yes, we're going to the Bone Temple.
Bring your iodine.
Ray Fiennes will be there.
Bring your iodine.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and then we do have our top 10 films of 2025 episode coming up, which is a favorite of ours that we always like to do. And so maybe 28 years later will be talked about even more on that episode.
We're going to see where that lands.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I mean, we're getting the sequel after not even a year, so that's a crazy turnaround. And preliminary reports on this, I hear it's not as good as 28 Years Later, but it is still serviceable, but it's not kind of game changing in the way that 28 Years Later was, which I kind of expected.
Are as good as 28 Years Later.
Strange for what it is. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm very excited for that. So.
But we're going to the Bone Temple. And then, we're doing top 10 films. We're doing Miyazaki. Continuing to do Miyazaki. We got great episodes coming up for February. So it's going to be
new year, new normies.
New
That's
year,
right.
new normies.
2026. This is our year, baby. Finally. Right? This has got to be the
Right.
year.
It's got to be it. All right. Well, that's go to YouTube, go to the things, and do them. Please.
Yes. Check us out.
Hit us
On
up
YouTube.
at normies_like_us. Rate, review, subscribe helps us out a ton. Otherwise,
Let us know
we
what
have been
you
your
thought
hosts.
of the
This
finale.
is the Demacolin.
Is that a
Micah
Demogorgon?
Gorgon. It's not a
I don't know.
Demogorgon.
I
but it's
assumed it was. A
the closest thing I
something.
got. I have a D&D figure here, listeners. But yep, the Micah Gorgon.
Sure. And
The
this
Micah
is
Gorgon.
Jake Levin. I died, or did I?
I
It's up to you,
believe.
Veers.
I believe.
You believe?
I
All right.
believe.
Catch you next time, normies. Keep believing.
Next time. That's right.
Bye.
On the right side up.
Bye.
Bye.